Alright, so welcome to D&D Stealing Dragons. You guys ready? Maybe, maybe not. It is. We can change it at some point. You guys give me a different name. We can run with it. Asking you guys to come up with something, so
little bit different than what the party has gone through up to this point. But before then, let's get a quick recap of your events from last session rather, from the mouth of Risk.
Well, shit. It's been a long while, but we're finally all back under the same roof. Kai made his appearance back home after his travels. It's been about a month, and we started off with a bang. Right off the bat, we had Trolltide, where I don't know exactly what they were up to, but it seemed like Kai and Viz were up to something. I never quite got the details on it. We celebrated the evening. We did a little bit of shopping during the day, and we fought a couple of trolls. These ones seem to be marked with the Xanathar guild's markings, which it seems like we're not done with them quite yet. But between the adventures, a shopping trip and that little bit of a fight, which wasn't really much bother at all, celebrating Trolltide, we found ourselves ready to continue. Things couldn't stay slow for us for forever, so we headed down to the Yawning Portal. I've got to go to the Undermountain. Someone wants me down there, and I want to find out why. I want to find out who they are. And my friends wouldn't let me go alone, so we headed down to the Yawning Portal. We got our normal table, which is always empty, and noticed that we're catching some weird looks. Not sure what that's about.
Alrighty, so after the events, after all of you getting back together, welcoming Kai home, enjoying Trolltide, the holiday here in Waterdeep, celebrating success and victory over the trolls that attacked the city some centuries ago, you decided to go ahead and get a good night's rest and then head to the Yawning Portal. You find yourselves here, I want to say about lunchtime is what we said last time. Maybe a little bit earlier than that. As you walked in, you saw Bonnie was not here, unfortunately, but there were still some waitresses, I suppose, walking around, one coming over to take your orders and such. And as you're all sitting there, several of you caught people looking at you. It wasn't everybody in the tavern, but three individuals seemed to be giving you a bit more attention than you're used to. You saw off to the north of you. So I'll move y'all over to the screen. You saw off to the north of you the constant bard that seems to be playing here in the tavern, and one that has even made his way out to Trollskull Manor once before for the grand opening. That a kind of dueling banjos incident happened between him and Viz. You know this man as Three Strings, and you know that he is actually a Harper's spy. He seems to be giving you some attention, kind of looking at you and paying attention to what you're doing. Off to your east, kind of over in the southeast area of the tavern, you see a woman, shaved head, very dark skin, kind of looking around. You see her paying close attention to much of the tavern, but seems to be kind of glancing at you as well. And finally, seated a few tables to your north, you see a woman dressed in fairly nice-looking clothes. You suspect she's probably a noble. And she seems to be glancing your way as well, and then seems to look away as you're looking towards her, kind of looking over towards the Yawning Portal, towards the big mechanized hook and pulley system that lowers people down into the portal itself. So, what do you want to do?
We look like our normal selves every other time we've sat at this table, right?
As far as I can remember, yes.
So can I look around? Why do you think these people are staring at us? People don't usually openly stare at us like this.
You've got something stuck in your teeth.
Oh, gods. I'm gonna run off to the bathroom. See if I
Watch as
can
he heads outside to the
Find it.
stall.
Look for a mirror, see if I can clean my teeth.
You just had to do that, didn't you?
Can't find any mirrors.
Can you change the appearance of your teeth, like as a changeling?
Yeah, actually, can't you just change?
Could you
how
just
it
like?
looks?
No, I don't.
I mean, something would. I could change the way my teeth are, but something would still be there. I mean, I guess if I gave myself gap teeth, it would fall out. I guess.
So it's just like one solid tooth all the way around.
Just see this
That's
little
what
piece of
nightmares are made of.
lettuce.
What am I, a joke to you?
Just no teeth. Just...
Yeah,
It
just
is
make the
in
teeth go
40
away
years.
and like clean it out with a sponge, then your teeth come back.
So there's
Sorry,
three
I'm gonna be in a
people
weird mood tonight.
eyeballing us. Is that correct?
Yes, with y'all's passive perception, you did notice these three people looking at you.
All three female,
3 strings is a dude.
Yeah, 3 strings is not female.
but the other two are female, right? There's the woman with the shaved head and then the noblewoman.
Yes.
Do we recognize either of those two?
Not people you've met before, no.
If we stare back at them, do they look away?
I'd like
Yes.
to wave at them.
I'd like to wave 3 strings over.
As you're looking at the two women, kind of making eye contact with them, you see them immediately looking away, kind of paying attention to the rest of the tavern. Viz, as you raise your hand up to 3 strings, that's playing this small little jig through his little thing, or his lute. He sees you kind of waving your arm over, and he kind of perks up and thinks for a second, then sets his lute down onto the table next to him and starts walking down. After a few moments, he arrives up next to the table, looking towards you all. You see he's finely dressed, a nice tunic and cloak hanging behind him, very bright red from the cloak. Kind of baggy, poofy pants on the bottom, giving him very bardic look. As he walks up, he looks around at you all, kind of nodding his head and kind of bows, sweeping his arm down by his middle. Says, "It's a pleasure to see you all again. I hope everything is faring okay for you."
Yeah, really, for the most part.
Excellent. It's good to hear.
We noticed you were staring at us.
Don't suppose you want to challenge Viz to another showdown. It didn't go too well for you last time.
With that, 3 Streets kind of laughs, shakes his head. No, my friends, I learned my lesson last time. I don't think I'll make that mistake again. I know when I'm faced with my betters. No, I wasn't staring per se, I don't think. I just... Well, I heard a fanciful rumor, I suppose. You know how things are around the city. I heard that the group of you may be thinking of going into the Yawning Portal and heading down to Undermountain.
Where'd you hear that?
Oh, a friend of a friend, gossip in the town and such. I just wondered if there was any validity to that.
Well,
We literally said that to no one.
considering we
Oh,
haven't
we
even.
did. We during our in between session, we totally we're like, we're gonna go to Undermountain, everybody.
I think
So
there's a
Kai-
spy in the house.
We did
So Kai doesn't know this, and he's literally going to look at 3 strings and say, "This is the first that I'm hearing we're going actually into the Undermountain. Are you certain that you've heard this from somebody else?"
Is there a Harper spy in our employee? Are we hiring a Harper spy?
No.
Have you been
we
spying
wouldn't
on
do
us?
anything that- I
Do we need to
spend
talk
all
to
my time
Merge?
here. I
I'm
mean, you can if you want to. It seemed that you were a bit shy on that matter.
unless and I
I
kind of
think the
turn.
spy is Viz.
I kind of turn to the rest of the party and look over at CK, remembering the conversation we had the morning that I got back, and like our Risk. CK. Look over at Risk and kind of like, so we've decided then.
I've decided. Y'all are forced to come with me, but I'm going.
I'm gonna pick up my bag of sleeping roll and 50 days worth of rations.
Oh god,
Yeah?
You have t-shirts? We're going to the Undermountain.
Undermountain or bust.
We went to the Undermountain and all we got were these t-shirts.
We're not making it there this session, are we?
No, probably not.
Uh, is that a problem if we go into the Undermountain, Three Strings?
No, of course not. And please, Three Strings is, well, it's a nickname, really, and one I'm not terribly fond of. My name is Matram Mereg, if you don't mind.
I like
Sure.
it.
So much easier to say.
Sure thing, 3.
MM.
Betty.
Eminem.
Eminem.
See his eye kind of twitching a bit as he's called 3. It says, anyway, no, it's no problem at all, really. I was actually looking around for anybody that may be venturing into Undermountain. There's been a situation that has come up, and I could use some assistance. Of course, there would be payment, information as well given alongside that could be useful to you.
You or the people you work with need this help.
Yes.
You see, the last time we helped out the people you worked with, we didn't get paid. So we're a little hesitant to accept contract work at the moment.
As you're saying that, he nods, as I can understand that. Then he nods, and you see him reaching around. He pulls out 2 pouches. He sets them down on the table next to you all and looks down and kind of motions to one. He says, in this one, there is 100 gold pieces. This will be your payment for taking care of this job. If you so choose to accept it, I will pay up front, expecting it with people who are heroes of the Waterdeep itself, helping out even someone as famous as the Open Lord. I would expect no less than grand certainty that you would accomplish this task. But
As he's talking, Kai's gonna point to Risk and using message going to say, apparently as big a mouth as the Harpers have, they didn't know that we took the gold from the Vault of Dragons. 100 gold
I was
is really
just
nothing.
thinking,
We're a bunch of
honey,
rich assholes now.
What's in
Carry
the other
your
bag?
pocket change.
Oh, God.
Continue.
But he kind of looks around and says, the job is very simple, and I figured, well, along with 100 gold pieces, there could be some information that could be very useful, maybe a bit more useful than money. I did hear you got a decent settlement recently, but I did notice a lot of renovations happening at the tavern as well, so at least that's something. But the job is rather simple and very straightforward, and it could get you some useful contacts down there depending on how long your foray into Undermountain is going to last.
What's the job?
Well, recently there was a female half-drow named Kalau Cladani. She runs a tavern down in Skullport called the Flagon and the Dragon.
I'm sorry. Where's Skullport?
Ah, you don't know what Skullport is? Well, that information I spoke of, I could tell you much about Skullport. It's a quite interesting place.
So I did a whole bunch of research on Undermountain to learn like the types of things that were down there so I could learn languages and stuff like that. Did I learn what Skullport is?
Make a... Where did you study? Did you study in the library
I
at the
bought
house?
a bunch of books from Rishal. This is before the library existed.
Okay. Make a history check for me.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
As he
Like, I
mentioned
know.
Skullport and you're thinking about it, you're recalling some memories, and you remember there was a... It's hard to call it a city, really, but there was an establishment inside Undermountain on one of the levels. It was called Skullport, and it was basically a multi-leveled fortress that had a city kind of surrounding it. All manners of less than savory beings inhabited this city. It was a rough and tumble place, to say the least. However, in your studies, you also learned that during the Spell Plague, it was said that some of the magic reinforcing the floor that Skullport resided on failed, and Skullport was destroyed. So you find it a bit odd that Matram's talking about it.
So this is Steve talking. there's a civilization in Undermountain. There's like a city and a town and stuff. I clearly don't understand what's down there. I thought this was a dungeon crawl.
I thought, yeah.
What do you mean there's a city? How do you have a town?
A what? There's a what?
himself right now.
I told you it'd still be fun, even though it's a dungeon crawl.
So I'm going to relay all that information back to 3, the pompous, smart asshole. Oh, you don't know this? Actually, blah, 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 blah. There's a town and the magic and the spell plague and shit.
This girl's
Yes,
1
yes,
inch.
That's all very true. A bit outdated, unfortunately, but that information is all correct.
Just like your playing skills.
Matrim takes 1d4 psychic damage. Okay.
Level 5. Level 6, sorry.
Sorry, 2d4. Matrim kind of closes his eyes and shakes his head with a smile. He says, well, I would be more than willing to offer you a bit of information about Skullports, if you would so choose to, and all I would require you, and he kind of motions to the second bag on the table, is to take payment to our friend down there, Kalal Kaladani. She took care of one of our agents recently, giving him shelter, and it's best that we repay the endeavor that she went across.
Is your agent still down there?
With that, he shakes his head. No, he's come back to surface to be debriefed, but his life would have been lost had Kalal not stepped in.
That was nowhere close to what I...
Yeah, I had it kind of spelled like Kal-El, like Superman. Wasn't very close.
Kalal.
I had 4 more apostrophes.
That's what I put down.
Kind of look to the group, and as I'm talking, kind of look to them to see if they nod or shake their head. I don't really think we need the gold pieces, but in exchange for gold, if we ran this job for you, I think we'd probably rather double down on information than gold pieces, right, guys?
Or even a favor. To be cashed in at a later date.
With that, you see Matrim thinking for a moment. I have something I could offer. It's usually reserved for members of our organization, but it could be extended to you. It could be very useful, once again, depending on your endeavors, of course.
I'm going to show our Harper's pin. We're basically fledgling associates.
Ah, yes, quite. You see, down in Skullports, on the uppermost level, there is a hideout, one that we have secured and guaranteed to be relatively safe in the city. It's called Dalagor's Fortress. If you were to go down there, and he kind of thinks and kind of points at the pin that you're holding up, and show our friend Felrax that, you would be able to take refuge there if you needed it to rest and recharge yourselves during your journeys.
So Galagos Fortress, and we talked to who?
What? Dalagar?
Kalal.
Gobble.
Oh,
Galagor's Fortress.
I almost got that one right. I swapped an A for an O. I was so close.
And as you're
Uppermost
asking the
level
name...
Skullport.
Yes,
There is
the uppermost level
Galagor's
Skullport, Dalagor's Fortress. There's a dragonborn mage by the name of Felrax that guards the place. Just show him the pin, and he will offer you safety.
How do we know you're not setting us up?
That he kind of tilts his head. Why would I have reason to? You're taking care of an endeavor that I do not have to take on myself by venturing into the Undermountain.
So to be clear, the pin we already have in our possession, if we go and talk to the person down there, he'll offer us safety in exchange for doing a job for you. Is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Or what happens if we show him that pin and they kill us on sight?
That would not be part of the plan.
How are you going to relay the message to him to let him know to give us safety?
Felrax knows to take in anybody carrying one of those pins.
Oh, so what would be the additional payment then in place of the 100 gold pieces?
Knowledge I've just given you.
Assholes.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
I would hope that this payment in advance would of course be upheld by you honorable adventurers.
I was hoping I liked the IOU portion of it. Can we get that in there as well? Just maybe when we come back up, we let you know we delivered payment, and maybe we run into something or someone that we have a question about. You might be able to help us find an answer. It's not going to be anything serious, like you don't have to like hurt someone, but maybe if you could help us find information, or if we have a way to send you a message while we're down there and we need information on something, you could help us out.
You need to understand, we got off on the wrong foot with your organization. From what we know, you do try to do right by the people of this city, but our interactions with you in the first place weren't great.
With that, you see Matrim thinking, kind of mulling it over. As well, I cannot guarantee anything substantial. I could possibly look into one thing that you may be interested in, within 6 months of today of accepting this job. If you come to me with something you would like researched, someone looked into, things of that nature, I could take care of that task for you.
I think that sounds well worth 100 gold pieces. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess.
Kai nods.
Information's more valuable than gold. Now that we have
Got a
both.
deal.
With that, you see Matrim leaning down, taking the large gold patch away, sliding the other one forward. You see it kind of opening up, and you see some kind of shiny-looking stones. They appear to be moonstones, pretty valuable ones. He kind of tightens it up and hands it over to you. Says, please just deliver that to our client, Kal-El. And once it's delivered, you can proffer safety in Dalagor's fortress as you see fit in Skullport. I will warn you, it is a bit of a dangerous place, but it should be no matter for you. It is a bit down, though. You won't find it immediately. Yes, Viz.
May I insight check him to see if when he's saying a little bit dangerous, he actually means a little bit dangerous? Or if it's like significantly dangerous?
Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
Define a bit down.
He seems to be saying, a bit dangerous. There's obviously some peril involved with Skullport, but he did just describe it as a place where unsavory creatures may inhabit, so...
Maybe I'll find a husband there.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll just be like the trolls we dealt with yesterday morning.
Kai, as you ask that, he says, I'm not sure if it's actual depth, I suppose, beneath the city. I do know that generally it's not found by... he kind of glances around the tavern. He kind of motions his hand kind of towards some other adventurers. You see some that, even from your perspective, they look a bit green around the gills. They look a bit... their armor is very clean. Their weapons haven't been used much. He kind of motions to them. It's like, it's generally not sought after or found by less skilled folk as yourselves. So it may take a bit of time to reach.
One other question, if you have a moment.
Sure.
There's two other women in the tavern right now. One noble woman sitting north of here, and a woman east of us, dark skin, shaved head. Do you know those two women? They're not together.
As you say that, you see Metrum thank you for a moment, and then you see this smile just appearing on his face as he looks around. And he seems to just be scanning the room, and he turns around. No, I don't think I see... yes, the woman behind me up to the north. I'm not too sure who she is. Seems to be noble-born, though, based on what she's wearing and that gold pouch at her hip. The other one that you're motioning towards, yes, she's a interesting one. Been coming here for quite some time, actually. Her name is Obaya Uday. She's from the land of Cholt, if you've heard of it. It lies off the sea to the southwest of here. It seems that, well, I would imagine why she's looking at you. She may have guessed based on your... kind of looking at the supplies and stuff laying across the ground. Based on your equipment, that you may be venturing into Undermountain as well, as did I. She may approach you, or you may approach her, but she has been looking for magical items and spell books. Anything that may be of no use to you, but instead of selling it to someone else, she's offering a bit of a slightly glorious rate for any unwanted magical items or spell books.
Who wouldn't want a spell book? It's like the best thing you could possibly ever get.
She kind of shrugs. I'm not sure. Some people just do not have the, the proficiency to use one, I suppose. With that, you see Metrum kind of nodding. Says, well, I believe that we have an accord here for our deal. Do let me know when it's finished. I would like to report that to my my superiors. And with that, you see Three Strings kind of nodding to you each. Do have a safe journey. I look forward to seeing you again. He excuses himself, heading back up to the north to resume playing up by his table.
Well,
And
thank you for the information. Three Strings. Appreciate it.
That was useful. I didn't know there was a city down there.
I totally did.
Yeah. Well, you told us about it, so obviously you knew about it.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't know it. Wow, guys.
Never really researched
Did you
this.
forget to eat breakfast, Biz?
I think I made us all breakfast.
Do we need
You
another
seem a little crabby, like more than usual.
I think he's trying to impress you, Talia.
He's not my type.
Oh.
I'd ship it. I don't know.
What is your type?
You'll never know.
Oh.
Sometimes I feel like Steve needs a hug.
He gets plenty of hugs, okay?
Same.
We go talk to them? We just like walk up to these people and just talk to them?
I think we should go down into the portal.
I think maybe you and I, kind of looking over at Viz, perhaps you and I should speak to the noble and send the others over to this magic item individual. We need to find out as much information as we can before we head down.
Divide and conquer.
Let's split the party.
Let's split the party.
Split the party.
Across a room. It's
Across the room,
dangerous.
split the party.
It's dangerous out here, guys.
It's a big room,
30,
though.
30
I mean,
feet apart. Oh god.
To be fair, the last time we started a campaign here, we had to fight a troll and a bunch of other shit. So
This is a good point. This is fair. This is fair.
Fucking hate you, CK. Alright. So, splitting the party, one group of you going to speak to the nobleman, the other one going to speak to Obaya Uday from the land of Chult. Who is going to speak to the noblewoman?
myself and Viz.
I'm back up. It's mostly Kai.
I'm
I'm there to be the hype man.
Do it.
Kai is going to lean upon his far traveler background. Let me copy paste here. Maybe. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this individual?
Sure.
I wasn't sure which one it was, so...
She doesn't have a token.
I haven't made tokens for these people, so...
Okay.
They must not be important.
Yeah,
They must not be super important. So then, yeah, we'll head over there.
Okay. Alright, so as y'all split up, standing up from your table, majority of the party heading off to the east over to the tables over here, the rest of you moving up a bit to the north. We'll go ahead and start with Viz and Kai, and then we'll go to the other scene.
Before we, as the other group starts leaving and we start heading up, I want to grab the waitress and kind of lean over and grab onto her and just whisper something in her ear. I'll send you a message in a bit.
Okay. Very well. Alright, so as you start walking up towards this woman, you see her wearing, like I said, fine clothing and such. Her, you see kind of strips of, instead of like gold lacing that you would see on most clothing, it's like black a bit, but with like this pinkish red cloth throughout this dress that she's wearing. As you approach, you see her eyes looking up towards you as you move up to the table, kind of standing up next to her, and she looks up and kind of looks you up both and looks both of you up and down rather. And she kind of nods to herself, says, "Well, it's about time you showed up here. I've been giving you the side eye all evening, or all morning."
Yes, we noticed. We couldn't help but to miss it from where we were sitting. My name is Kai Gladomain.
Yeah, it's very hard to miss.
Yes, Kai Gladomain.
Yes, I've heard of you, actually.
And you are?
My name is Esvel.
Esvel, yes. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. I assume there is a reason that you are giving us the side eye.
There is, actually. Based on... She kind of looks around you towards your table, where all your belongings are still kind of shoved up underneath it. Based on your attire and what you've decided to bring with you tonight, okay, yeah. Based on what you've worn and decided to bring with you today to the Yawning Portal, it seems you may be venturing into Undermountain. Is my guess correct with that?
That is accurate so far, yes.
That she nods as well. As a noble of Waterdeep, I would be willing to offer you a job for payment, of course, but also for other reasons, I suppose. Beyond payment, maybe a favor.
A favor with who, might I ask?
With that, you see her kind of straighten her back a bit and raising up her chin. Says, "My name is Esvel Rosnar."
Rosnar. I'm sorry, I'm not quite from here. The name doesn't really connect anywhere for me.
As you say that, you see her eye kind of twitching, and she nods. Says, "Well, I can understand that, I suppose, if you are someone who's not from around here. The Rosnar family has existed in Waterdeep for centuries. I come from a noble line reaching, well, a long time ago. I have a lot of influence in this city, in more areas than one. I have an interest in someone who has ventured into Undermountain. I would like someone to seek him out. If you would be willing to acquiesce to my request, I would request that you either bring him back or, if it is unfortunate enough to only find his body, to bring back proof of his demise. If you could do either one of those, then, well, I would owe you as a noble of Waterdeep."
Kai's gonna look back towards Viz.
So something about this seems off to me. If she was really from a long line of nobles of Waterdeep, Three Strings would have recognized her, is what it seems like to me. Based off her dress, is it in line with the current fashion? Does she seem to really be acting as a Waterdeep, or do I recognize that family name after being in Waterdeep for however long we've been here?
Make another history check. And insight check. Either one of y'all can make the insight check.
Okay. Sure. We'll let him see.
Okay. So as you're looking at Esvel, you're noticing that her clothing, it is nice clothing, but based on the recent information that you had during your escapades seeking out the Vault of Dragons and the festival that was going on, you knew the current fashions. What she's wearing is a bit outdated. It's still nice, but it is not the current fashion. As you're recalling the notable houses here in Waterdeep, you recall reading during your research of Undermountain a family name, which is Rosnar. Let me just go ahead and put her name in here, which is real hard to spell. You recognize the name, but not in a very good light. You know that the Rosnar family, some century ago or so, was actually demoted from a favored noble house due to participating in slavery and other ill-mannered deeds. Since then, their family's gone pretty much unnoticed.
I'm just going to kind of whisper to Kai, be like, in a social light, they've recently been a little bit declassed because her family has treated people the way you describe the elementals being used, but her family did it for people.
Kai will just kind of glance back and nod and look back at her.
Yes, technically noble.
Look back at
Are you saying that
Isfel.
quietly?
Yeah, kind of
Okay,
whispering.
make a stealth check.
Accidentally stage whisper.
Nice.
I use some vague terms about elementals and stuff as well.
Yeah. Kai will look forward and say, well, what is it that this individual... what is it that makes you want to find this individual down here?
With that, she thinks for a moment and looks back up at you and say, the individual in question is... Well, he's my brother. His name is Crescendo. He decided to venture into Undermountain for means that I do not agree with, and I would like him reclaimed from there and brought back one way or another.
I see. And you believe that he's not down there under his own will. He's being held captive.
I did not say that. He did venture in his own volition down there.
He did. And you're asking me to bring him back. So that means you believe he's not down there under his own free will. Or he has something that you might want.
We would definitely never force someone to do something they don't want to do or be in a position where they can't make their own free will. If he doesn't want to come back up, we would never force someone to do that.
The party stands with Viz on this. We will not force him to come back.
We can
with
talk to him,
that-
though, and tell you how he is. But, I mean, if he's
With that-
dead, we could also bring back proof, like, for sure. Like,
With that, she thinks for a moment, and you see her kind of closing her eyes and sighing, and she kind of motions to the two chairs next to her, says, "Could I buy you a drink, please? I would like to explain things further, if possible."
Kind of
look at
motion.
Kai.
Kind of motion to Viz to have a seat, and we'll sit down and talk with her.
So with that, you see Esfel kind of waving her hand, and the waitress stops by, and she orders you two of what you were drinking. With that, Esfel kind of rests her hands in front of the table and kind of thinks for a moment, closing her eyes. As she opens them, you see a bit of a frustrated look on her face. With that, she looks at you both and kind of lowers her voice a bit as she leans forward on the table. Says, "My family, while still rightly noble, unfortunately, our reputation has been tarnished by past deeds of my ancestors. It is unfortunate, but it's something that I have had to live with my entire life. It is something that I would like to change. I have been doing my best to give our family a good name, charitable donations, helping people, doing things that are right. For my own means, nothing untoward. I want my family name to be one that can be spoken proudly, not always with the glare of disdain. My brother disagrees with that. He has a mindset more similar to my predecessors. He has ventured into Undermountain to seek out Skullports and this organization, the Xanathar Guild, that resides there. From what I heard, after he departed, he is seeking out deals to start slave rings down in Skullport. As I said before, I disagree with his outset on this, and I would very much like it stopped before he can taint our name any further. So, that is the truth of it. That is what I would request of you all, is to retrieve him, or at least bring me proof that he is demised there.
Gonna glance across the table at Viz and kind of just gently nod my head.
Just kind of purse my lips a little bit and say nothing.
Well, do you accept?
Allow us to bring this to the others. We'll tell them the information that you have given us, and we'll see if they are in agreement. But first, what is the payment before I go back to them and tell them all of this, and then it's not even worth our time.
With that, she thinks, as I currently do not have any suitable means, I think, to pay you for this job. But, that being said, I would owe you a favor, and I do suspect that favor could be called in for something very notable in the future, if you so choose to do so. You can trust in House Rosnar with the vision that I have built for it.
I will speak to the others, and we will see what we come up with. Again, I can't guarantee you anything at this moment, but we'll head down. You may not get a clear answer before we go, but when we head down, we'll either come back with his remains or with him, or nothing at all. This will allow the rest of the individuals in our group to decide how they want to approach this.
With that, you see Esvel nodding. She says, very well, I can respect that decision. I will at least give you a bit more information if you so choose to venture after this person, after my brother Chrysando. Chrysando is 22 years old. He is blessed with fair skin and dark curly hair. He is a man that's been trained in stealth and, unfortunately, thievery. So, may see him slinking around down there. He also, and she raises her hand up and sets it on the table, and you see this silver ring on her finger that has a signet crest on it. You see it's a diving white falcon on a field of blue, all colored in on the silver. It says this is, and it also has an inscription kind of written around it that says "Fly high and swoop swift." She says he will also be wearing this signet ring for our family. If you were to recover it or him and bring him back to the surface once again, we would owe you a favor, a great one.
Very well. I will let the others know.
I appreciate it, Kai, and Viz. She nods to you both.
And we'll stand up and, I guess, make our way back over towards the table.
Yeah, we'll go sit back at our table.
Kind of give her a bit of a noble head bow as we leave.
Okay, she returns it. So both of you head back down to the table as we swap views over across the tavern. The rest of you, the other three of you, venturing over this table, you see this woman, once again, bald head, dark skin, sitting at it. You see there's a large, open, almost like a tome, a big book open up there. And as you're kind of walking by, very, very similar to Ikora, actually. Yes, that is an apt description of her. You see that there's a lot of names and then money amounts inscribed right beside the names. As you're moving across her, she raises her up and doesn't quite smile, but she nods to you each in turn, says, well, or wait, no, sorry, switching over accents here. This one's gonna be different, because it's not what I've done before.
Jamaican, I can't wait to hear it.
With that, you see Obaya looking up at you and says, well, I've assumed that you've heard of me if you're walking here already. My name is Obaya Uday. She kind of motions for the chairs in front of her.
Sit down. Try and get a glance at the book. Do I see anything, like any names I recognize? Anything interesting?
Make a perception check as you're walking by.
Cool.
As you're walking by, you catch a couple of lines of the text as you're walking by, and you look down and you see magical sword. 500 platinum pieces. You see spellbook, 500 platinum pieces. You see, kind of italicized and bolded over, ancient rod, 5,000 platinum pieces. And it continues down further.
I'll come back in 50 years to give you that ancient rock.
Suddenly, Risk passes out. Don't know why. Just boom. So as you all sit down at the table after Jod is able to see this, you see Obaya looking towards you. Says, "Well, I assume you've decided to venture in paying off some of the items you do not need any longer to me?"
No, honestly, no. You were just kind of staring at us, so we were just wondering what was up.
Well, you all look like adventurers, so I assume that you had items that I may be able to procure.
Not really, I think. Do you guys have anything? Look at Risk and Thalia.
Not really. I mean, I've got the Moon Touch sword, but that's about it.
Do you intend to sell it?
No. I have a little trouble seeing in the dark, so it's useful to me right now. That's the only magical item I have on my persons.
Well, my master Wakama Otamu is seeking magical items, both mundane and extraordinary. So if you come upon those in your adventures, whether it be elsewhere in this land here or in Undermountain, I typically frequent this establishment every night and seek them out. I will pay handsomely.
Alright, that's good to know.
What do you do with all the magic items?
I collect them and send them back to my master. He's a great wizard in our land.
Oh. And Cholt?
Yes, in Chult.
Where? Do I know where Cholt is? Have I ever heard of Cholt?
That's basic geography,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
You
I
know
know.
Chult's to the southwest, yeah.
Okay.
It's a island nation off to the southwest. You did hear that there was an interesting magical effect that inhabited the land some years ago that actually caused people that were reanimated from the dead to start dying again, unfortunately. It was quite terrifying for them. Put a lot of hard times on Chult.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. Never Oh, that's cool. I've never been to Cholt before, but I've heard it's interesting.
It is a beautiful land. It's dangerous for those that aren't used to it, what with the dinosaurs running around and such, but otherwise quite interesting. Quite beautiful, too.
Excuse me, what? Running around?
The dinosaurs.
Talia suddenly wants a triceratops.
Jot, can we go on vacation?
Have you never heard
A
of the great...
triceratops is a land trident. I love.
Have you never heard of the famous dinosaur races held in the cities in Chult?
No, but I don't know how I've missed it. That sounds fucking amazing.
That's unfortunate. If you ever do find yourself down there, do seek them out. They're quite, well, interesting to watch, I suppose.
I could imagine. That's... Yeah, I want to... Yes. Yeah. If we find anything we don't need, we'll come hit you up.
With that, you see Obaya nodding, and once again, I do promise I will beat any of these other people, any other merchants, while respectable in their own right. My master has given me much leeway when it comes to purchasing these items. He wants them very badly, so I promise I will beat any of their prices and offer you more.
Can I roll an insight check? I just want to see if there's anything like...
I was also
Like-
about to ask to do that.
Like, is she paying us some fucking leprechaun gold? Like, what? What's the...
Yeah, sure, make an insight check.
Let's open my sheet for the first time tonight. Fucking insight.
Oh shit.
I'm out of beer already. As you're looking around, kind of not noticing that, you do notice the book much like Jot did. And you see... You see PP written by all the amounts. and you recognize that as platinum pieces. And you see the minimum she's paid for anything is 100. So she doesn't spend less than 1,000 gold.
Right, but like I was trying to like. That's over market value. Like
That's her lowest one. She says common next to that.
yeah, like
What?
I
Or
feel like I
sorry,
could
not
sell.
1,000. 100. Sorry.
Okay.
100.
I feel like I could sell my fucking +1 crossbow bolts for a fucking pretty penny right now.
You could try.
I'm not going to. I need those things. But all right, cool.
Based on what she's saying and everything, you're thinking you were going to get the best deal on magical items with her.
Okay.
I.e., the DM has racked up her selling prices or her buying from you prices above everybody else in the city.
Okay.
Do you ever sell any items, or you only buy?
That she shakes her head. That would defeat the point, would it not? I am to take these items back to my master. I make no reason to send these off.
Do you ever loan items?
No.
Joth, have you heard of her master?
What was the name again? I keep...
Wakanga Otamu.
Have I ever heard of Wakanga Otamu?
No.
Okay, didn't think so. No, if not. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. What's your master like? Is he building an army?
No, of course not. My master is a
Right.
collector.
Do I believe that?
Make an insight check.
Shit, I really wish I'd had a better insight check. yeah, that's significantly worse.
Yeah, you're looking at her and she keeps a straight face, kind of nodding, saying it very matter-of-factly. Like, seems legit.
I think I have the worst insight out of everyone, so it's better than what I would have done.
I mean, there was a point in time where she was yelling at me for not insight checking the Zents. So I'm like, yeah, fuck it, do I believe this motherfucker?
Worth a try.
Yeah. So as you're going through back and forth and everything, she kind of nods, says, well, if you do find any of these magical items, do visit me if you do not want to keep them for yourselves. If you didn't know or heard about it, I play only in platinum pieces, for ease of transport, of course. I have all of my loans and money that I pay out secured with the other Havian banks, so it is all legitimate, I suppose.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, she kind of nods, and you see her kind of picking up her pen and tapping the edge of her book. Says, "Oh, safe journeys, my friends." And you all get up and return back to the table where you see Viz and Kai sitting.
Well, what did you guys learn?
So we kill him?
That's what I was thinking.
Wait, this wasn't the point I was trying to make at all. He
Do
won't.
we cut out his tongue so if someone brings him back to life, he can't talk and tell them that we killed him?
That seems very drastic. I feel more worried than I did before now. Okay.
Well,
What was the family?
Rosnar.
Well, Sorry. I love it so much. Please stop.
As you're
Please stop.
explaining back and forth, everybody give me perception checks.
Is there fucking someone else looking at us?
All eyes on us.
All eyes on.
Okay. As you're all sitting there, going back and forth talking about your experiences between Esvel and Obaya, you notice there's 3 waitresses that are in the tavern itself. And they're all always just kind of running back and forth at any given time. But you see all 3 of them are sitting up talking to Dernan at this point. As they move back away from Dernan, kind of on the other side of the bar, on the patron side of the bar, you see them holding up this large plate with a small like cupcake in the middle of it. And they immediately turn around and start heading towards your table.
I scoot away. As far from Talia as I can get.
As they move up, they all move up behind Talia, standing around her as they hold the as they hold the plate with a cupcake in front of her. The woman that was serving your drinks looks forward and she says, "We heard that it was someone's birthday today.
No.
Yes, Talia. Yes, Talia, it is your birthday. Yes, so here." And she sets down the cupcake and you see a small little candle and she snaps her fingers and it lights up with a small little flame. She kind of turns around, and as she does so, you see the entire room beginning to fall silent. She yells out, everyone here, some of our famous adventurers here has a birthday today. If you could all join with me in singing her a happy birthday today. Everybody," as she turns around looking at the rest of you, says, "Everybody, please join me in singing." And we're not going to do it because there's a super amount of latency on Discord, so
Yeah.
it would be
Did
terrible.
I have like a
to
fancy
hold an
birthday hat
action.
for Talia?
I want to try and like restrain Talia if I feel like she's gonna stab someone and make it look like a hug.
So
What
all
the
of you
fuck
just
is the Yawning
see-
Portal? When did the Yawning Portal turn into Applebee's?
You all just see Talia, her blue skin turning a bit shade of red, and you're not
So
sure
would
if
I be
it's anger or
purple?
embarrassment. Yeah, turning a bit purple. And then after a few moments, you see her kind of gripping a dagger at her hip, and you can all tell that it's definitely rage, not embarrassment, filling her as for the most part, the entirety of the Yawning Portal begins singing happy birthday to Talia for it being her birth month. And after a few moments, it stops.
Oh God!
I'm gonna get so fat.
28 more days.
Talia does work out a lot. I never see her eat sweets.
As Cassie's eating.
Talia's ripped.
Y'all are ridiculous. I love you guys.
My cupcake is really good.
Yeah. What kind of cupcake is that?
That was
It's a mint
fun-
chocolate chip cupcake, and the whipped cream. It's not like frosting; it's the whipped cream
Mhm.
frosting thing. Way good.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds delicious.
All right, so as we celebrate Talia's birth month and realize that apparently this is a daily custom where where Kai comes from, and all of us lament that idea. The waitress is. Oh,
She did say
Oh.
that. She did
so
say
this
that.
is
I
this
was
is her
drunk
own
when we
fault.
had that conversation.
They celebrate it by phases of the moon. They don't have days underwater. There's no sun. You can't tell that deep in the ocean.
And if
so
we're
this is
bored and
ultimately
like
Talia's own
fish,
fault.
there's so many people that we just have to like rotate. Like you 10 on this day.
Oh God.
Alrighty then.
Well, I think we're ready to go into the Yawning Portal now before anything else happens and Talia stabs him.
Let's save the Yawning Portal by leaving.
Oh man.
I think we can take Dernan now.
What do you want to do?
backflip into the giant hole in the middle of the room.
Don't do that.
I would like to take the safety crane down.
Here's
Alright.
challenge you on who gets down there first.
So
Deal.
all of you standing up and moving around, you see as you're moving up towards the northwestern part of this large hole in the middle of the tavern, you see it rises up about 3 feet, where like this wall is kind of surrounding it for minimal safety. As you're getting closer to the crane, you see that there's several ropes with footholds in them to where you'd be able to all lower yourselves down at the same time. And then you all hear this just overpowering everyone in the bar, this and you all look around, turning around, searching for who just cleared their throat, and then you hear,
It was dirty.
and you all are centered back to the bar, and you see Dernan just leaning on his, looking towards you all, and he kind of just points in front of the bar.
I feel like
Fine, Dad.
I feel like we're being called to the principal's office.
Yeah.
Just like kind of
we did what he
Be like,
told us to do. We definitely went to that place, and we got that
And
minotaur.
say us, he nods, and
pet.
I'll
Wait,
hang my head
what
and
are
shuffle
you
up over
talking
there.
about?
Risk is
I'm
gonna,
gonna sit down and eat my cupcake and not make eye contact.
Risk is gonna elbow a guard and be like, Dernan wants you.
I'm already walking up there.
Yeah, Risk is following.
as you all
Sorry.
approach, moving up to Dernan, you see him tilting his head and kind of standing back upright. You see him grabbing this great sword and stabbing it into the ground next to him, and he leans forward. You were trying to use my entrance without paying the entrance fee.
No, it
I
was.
thought that was why we did the alley thing. Was that not the entrance fee thing?
No, that was for my amusement.
What about an
Knew it! I
IOU, since
fucking
that's how
knew it!
people
I knew he
pay?
was pranking us.
With
much
that, he
is
looks
the
over Viz.
fee?
You want to use my hole, my winch.
I mean, given any opportunity, I would much prefer to use your wench over any other method of transportation.
I would love to use your home.
I forget that I play with 12-year-olds. Constantly. Constantly forget this.
I think you literally said if you want to use my home, what do you expect me to do?
Is your wench available right now?
Yeah, and you follow it with wench. Whole
You know what?
Wench.
You have to jump. You just have to jump. You'll be fine. Probably. All y'all are gonna start out with fucking 20d6 bludgeoning damage before you even start. Ugh. If you want to use my entrance into the Yawning Portal, into Undermountain, you have to pay the toll. You know what's out of hand? 1 gold piece each.
Oh, but that's so much money.
I'll pay 6 gold pieces. How much is it to use your wench?
He looks down at the gold. It's included.
Okay. I just didn't know if the entrance fee and the wench fee, if that was like a rental thing.
No.
Is there someone down there
I
we can pay
will-
when we come back up, though?
Is
There'll
it the
be a
same
bucket.
entrance?
We just put the gold in the bucket?
Hmm.
Do we shake it?
I'm sure there's like a bell or
Mhm.
something.
We'll
Okay. We're going down then. Are we good to go? Thanks, Ernan.
just motion off. Go get yourselves killed for all I care.
Thanks for letting us use your hole.
We promise
Wow,
not
this-
to abuse it.
This winch is really well lubricated. He takes good care of this winch.
This is a
It's
22
well-
hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Good thing
making
for
sure.
that disclosure.
no reason,
on the
just-
beginning.
Just making sure.
Checking. Just checking.
All 5 of us in the hole at the same time.
That's pretty big
And
hole.
Has this
and
ever
not even
happened
complaining about it. I mean,
Listen, 6 gold is a bargain for all 6 of us to get to his hole, or all 5 of us.
Is the winch like a
Havix-
going?
So
Havix literally checking to see what how much
the weight
tension we
limit
can
is.
put on this rope before it snaps, and if we're going to snap that rope.
Well, I don't know if it lowers like a plank that we ride down like an elevator, or if we like rappel down. I'm not sure what the purpose of the winch is.
As you all move over, grabbing some of the ropes to start to step in them and such, pulling them up next to you, kind of looking at each other, trying to figure out. And you see one of the waitresses walking over, and she rests her hand on one of the levers and says, "Well, whenever you're ready, go ahead and lower yourselves in."
We're just gonna grab hold.
You first.
I think we all go down at the same time.
Oh.
Oh, just gonna get all ready. Just at the point where like there's no turning back, and be like, "How deep is the hole, by the way?"
Click, and you all start lowering down. It drops suddenly for a second. You kind of cling to the rope, your foothold, able to keep yourself pretty steady. You find yourself kind of bouncing off the wall a bit, and then it kind of stabilizes, and you find yourself lowering, and you start going down. And down.
I'm gonna hold on to risk. Like, I'm not scared, but if we die, or if we're gonna die, I'm just gonna hold on to you so you can use your little newfound power and save us.
I'm gonna light up my staff as we go down.
Yeah.
As you do so, it starts getting pretty dark.
I'm gonna draw my moon touch sword.
I cast mage armor on myself.
As you're moving down, you continue for about 30 seconds or so at your slow pace. The sound of the Yawning Portal fading behind you, and just the sound of, you can hear a bit of the crank up, but then just each other's noises, and that's all you hear echoing all around you here in the Yawning Portal itself. As you start to lower down, you see the bottom beginning to shine up with, I imagine Risk has drawn his Moon Touch sword with it being very dark.
I think,
Or did somebody light a torch or something?
I did my staff.
Yeah,
Oh, your staff,
he
okay.
has a staff.
And I drew my sword as well. Yeah.
I also have a hooded lantern that, if
Which
needed.
Talia is appreciative of, because I just remembered I can't see in the dark.
unless it's underwater.
Yeah, unless it's underwater.
Well, you know, details.
Alright.
Could I cast like wall of water and just like move it and put my head in there and just see
And then
through
just
the
see. Yeah, that's
For a minute.
That makes sense.
So as you get down lower, it's going to take a second to load. It's a very big map, and then I will move you to where you are, so don't bother moving around or anything.
Okay.
So as you get down closer to the bottom, the rope kind of stopping as you see the floor below you, coming to a bit of an abrupt halt. As I move y'all to center you on yourselves.
Oh my god, this map is fucking huge.
That's what she said.
At the bottom of the Yawning Portal entry, well, is a dark 40-foot square room. As you look around, you notice a few features. You see the only exit to this room appears to be a tunnel that leads to the south before bending west. As you're looking down at the floor underneath your feet, it seems a thin layer of sand seems to cover the floor. All around you, coating the walls, you see shields. Dented, rusty shields adorn the walls, and you see most of them are covered in graffiti. Welcome to Undermountain.
Do I see the return bucket?
As you all step off, kind of the light shining, the only light here from Viz's staff and the sword that Risk has drawn, you see after a few moments of you all getting off, the ropes kind of dangling limply, you see them begin to raise up. And if you stand there for a few moments, another minute or two, you'll see a small bucket beginning to lower itself into the hole, back down.
Once it goes limp, it exits the hole.
Well, we all got off in Durnan's hole at the same time. Looking at the graffiti on the shields, is it people's like names and dates or something? Kind of what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
As you look across, you see a few people that have like inscribed their names. Walter was here, and you see a 1489, DT and stuff, or DR rather, inscribed on it. A lot of it's just signs you expect. You see a few spots where you see a spoked circle with a spoked kind of line shooting out of it. A gang sign that you all recognize.
Literal gang graffiti down here.
Hey,
Got
Jot,
it.
can you fix the shield right in this kind of spooky area right here?
Fix it, like, make it stop existing.
Yeah, like, I don't know, mend the metal back together so it doesn't
Mhm.
have that symbol on there anymore.
Absolutely.
Really kind of, we could clean up the place a little bit.
You just clean
see
all the
that they're-
graffiti off.
You see
Just
there
specifically the Xanathar ones.
as you're looking around, you see there's at least 60 of these shields hanging on the walls all around you. There's a lot of them. Not a lot of them with the graffiti on it, Xanathar Guild graffiti, but a lot of shields.
I fixed that specific one that he pointed out.
Thanks.
Okay. Assuming with mending, I guess.
Mending and prestidigitation seems like that would work. Do you guys want to put our names on it?
Yeah, look, there's a spot right here.
Yeah, obviously.
John.
I have thieves' tools. Could I engrave metal with that?
Sure. Seems like something you would definitely use delicate sleeve tools for.
It's got like a pokey part and like a hammer.
That's
Tap tattooing
not what
it.
thieves tools are.
I also have a mechanical quill, a disguise kit, and a forgery kit. I'm gonna look around everyone else. Anyone got chisel or metalworking tools?
I have a small knife and a crystal.
1 second.
I have a dagger.
Kai hands you.
I have a stone mouse.
He has pittons and a hammer.
There we go.
Possibly
Scratch
use
it
that.
with the pit.
You with one of the pittons.
Yeah.
Use it to scratch in or carve in.
Okay, so you're gonna take a hammer and a
No,
Pitten
just
for this
the pitten,
pitten
just
part.
to
Pitten.
kind of scratch it up and mark it in.
I'm gonna sketch it out with my quill first, though, so I have like lines to trace.
All right. So as you're pressing against the shield, kind of sketching out what it should look like, carving in or writing in all your names, you do notice the shield kind of bounces back and forth. It's kind of loosely hanging on the wall on some kind of pegs or something behind it, but it seems stable enough. So you get done carving or writing all your names, and then Kai brings the pitten from behind this heavy metal piece and moves up and then kind of starts carving, and he has to kind of hit it a few times to get it to take, and then starts carving through it. As you get through Talia's name, as you're kind of going around with the T and moving down, you hit it once more and the shield bounces off the pegs and lands on the ground below you. You kind of look down at it and pick it up or try to decide what you're going to do with it. Everybody else, you notice something odd on the wall behind the
I
shield.
was about to ask if I could look at the wall behind the shield.
You see text written in common on the back or on the wall behind where the shield was. The text is red, and as you're looking at it a bit closer, you see that it's probably blood. And as you look at it, the words spell out a small message. Beyond the pillar forest, the mad mage awaits, casting spells behind magic gates.
Mad mage awaits.
Casting
Casting
spells beyond the
Thank
gates.
you.
I'm gonna go 13 shields down the row and lift it up and look behind it. See if there's any different text.
Nothing. Blank wall.
God, our luck is amazing. I'm gonna find another shield that has a Xanathar symbol on it and look behind that one.
Pick it up. You see green text behind this one. It's not text. You start to look at it a bit closer. You thought it was a series of glyphs, but instead you see these arching lines. And I'll kind of draw it for you. 'Cause I don't have a handout for
It's
it.
gonna be a
Is it a
smiley
dick?
face,
I
isn't
was
it?
gonna say it's gonna be.
Is it a dick?
Oh wait, you won't be able to see that. Let me put it on here where you'll see.
Oh. Yep.
Middle finger.
It's the middle finger. I love it.
Hey.
I'm gonna sketch that out of my book and remember it for later.
Maybe that could be one of your tattoos later.
Oh.
I'm making a tattoo right now.
Just turn it 180 and just round out those two smaller bumps on the side. I think it'll look perfect.
Okay. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna put the shield back.
Yeah.
Do we see a door? Do we see an exit to this room?
See a path leading off to the south.
Listen, I know a lot about blood. That took a lot of blood to write. I just want to point that out. That was a lot. like paintbrush enough blood?
Two questions actually about where the blood was. How high off the ground approximately? Like, was it like written?
About 4 feet.
4 feet or so. Okay. Looking at the way it was brushed. Oh God. Happened to roll 20. Just kicked me off the map, guys. It was like, you don't get to be here anymore.
No, where did Jock go?
Do you want to listen?
Let's try refreshing. Does it look like paintbrush painted on? Finger? Is there a way to tell that?
Make an insight check when you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Can we tell if it's really blood?
Oh, that's from the sword, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
How much do you get, Viz?
15 feet.
15 feet bright or 15 feet
Yeah.
dim?
Kai will... Does Jot have dark vision?
Mm-hmm.
She does. Kai will hand Talia his lantern, his hooded lantern, for her to use if she needs it.
Oh God.
Is my 15 feet dim on there now?
Should be, yeah.
I can see no noticeable difference except for it's slightly brighter right around me.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go. Yeah, it's there.
Can I tie the lantern onto my trident?
Risk, that sword is bright as fuck.
I mean, I can do this instead. I'll take back the lantern and press my hand on the end of the trident and cast light on it for an hour.
Did you just touch my trident without asking?
Yep. Yes, I did.
You just wanted insight, not investigation, right?
You're lucky
Yes.
I didn't stab you.
As you're looking at it, it almost seems like a meaty finger was used to write the words out. You see kind of wisps of the trail of blood off, some drops down below it.
And it definitely looks like blood, not paint to me.
That's a
Yeah, even as
lot.
you investigate it further, kind of smelling it, you get that rusty smell, coppery smell of blood.
That's a lot of blood.
Any estimate on how long ago this could have been written that I could make?
Based on your last insight check, hard to tell. It's definitely dried. It's been there for at least a little bit.
All right. Let's go, guys. We
So
got this.
Talia gets 20/20 as well. Which you can hide if you just cover it with like a cloth or something. You can hide it at any time, so.
Just take off my clothes, put it over it. Half the group's already seen me naked anyway.
More than half.
Was it more than half? Was it everyone but Kai?
Everyone but Kai.
All right.
All right. Well. Oh God, I'm gonna have to like keep
Chrome is lagging?
dragging Seamus along with me too. Okay.
I mean, if you left him up, I can delete him.
Well, no, he could just be in his pocket dimension right now.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll just delete him for right now. We can add him back if you need him.
I'm gonna end up forgetting him back.
All right,
Some
Jesus, y'all moving
passage.
fast all of a sudden. Y'all walked like 10 feet and then suddenly went 45.
Just literally just start sprinting through the corridor.
All right, so as you round the corner, moving y'all back. All right, so as you round the corner, you see this 20-foot wide hall expands in front of you. As you're looking along it, you see every 10-foot section of this wall has a 9-foot high, 4-foot wide, 3-inch deep, door-shaped recess containing a bas-relief carving of what appears to be demons. You see that each relief depicts a different kind of demon. As you're looking further, you see a skeleton lying on the floor About here-ish. Kind of, you see the arm of the skeleton kind of pointing towards the bas relief next to it. As you're looking at the skeleton, it looks a bit different than ones you've seen, all the skeletons you've seen. You see that it's this bony structure that kind of comes out and hooks at a point. Almost looks like a bird's beak off of its mouth.
Is it a Kenku skeleton?
Yep.
Interesting.
So what kind of demons? You said each one was like a different demon, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of demons? I
Maybe.
have done quite a bit of research on demons, so I could learn Abyssal and to learn about our neighbor.
Okay. Give me a nature check with advantage then.
And Havoc, do I see any, like the ones that I fought the day that we were building the church?
No.
Do we see any traps?
Make a perception check.
I suck at perception.
Viz, as you're looking, you recognize a few of these. Yeah, don't see any traps. Viz, as you're looking at the north wall, from east to west, so from where you're standing off to the west end of the hall, you see what appears to be... Oh god, I need to know what these look like.
You can just tell me the names.
Yeah, you see a large creature. It has two horns out of it, almost the mouth of a pig or something. It has these two gigantic wings behind it and seems to be holding up this whip that seems to spark with fire. You recognize this as a Ballora. Ballora, rather, not a Ballora. You don't recognize that one. You do recognize another one. It looks like a large ape, but its arms and fists are just completely oversized for its body. You know this is a Barlgura. You recognize... That was the first and second one. You don't recognize the third one. Recognize with a 13. Probably the last one as well. The one furthest away from you as you're glancing at it. You see this creature is very... almost toad-like in its appearance, but it has spikes all across its entire body and a wide, gaping maw with just these chiseled teeth all across it. You recognize this as a Hezro. As you're looking to the south...
How many are there total on the wall? I knew the first, second, and last. How many in between did I not know?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the north, and 6 to the south.
You guys are.
Yeah, this hallway.
I just crashed again. What?
Don't know. I have everything turned off that can be turned off.
Oh, no,
so.
and it's weird. It's like it doesn't completely crash. Like the map just vanishes. It's just white screen. Like my sheet's still there. The chat part's still there.
It's Roll20, yeah.
The actual map just goes bye.
Yeah, there's 7 demons to the north and 6 to the south. As you're looking to the south, you recognize a Quasit, a Vrock,
There we go.
and a Naufeshni. You do see that the Naufeshni is what the this large, kind of pig-like face, but with 2 sets of horns coming out, one by its jaws, one kind of out its cheeks, tiny, undersized wings on its back. And then these just massive claws and hooves for feet. You see that is where the Kinku skeleton, its hand is kind of pointing towards it.
Looking around, what is the floor, the walls, the ceiling? What is all that like? Like, is it stone?
All stone.
All stone.
All worked stone.
Do you all mind waiting a little bit of time for me to check and see if things are magical or not around?
Not at all.
Cool. I'm gonna start ritual casting detect.
Okay. So 10 minutes to do that. Is anybody else doing anything? Are you investigating further? Looking at the bas reliefs?
Kai's gonna walk forward and just kind of almost like stand guard and just watch in front of us, using life sense to sense anything that he might not see out of dark vision.
Okay.
20 feet.
Risk. Oh, wait till you guys done.
Go ahead and make a perception check, Kai.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Risk. Do you remember what it was you fought?
Yeah, I don't see a depiction of it here. It was a spined fiend?
Spine devil.
Spined devil.
devil.
But I don't see it here.
Is a spine devil a devil or a fiend? So Baylors, Balrugas,
Oh, they're all
Hezros,
fiends.
Quasits, Vrox, and Nalfeshnis are all abyssal type fiends. Is the spine devil a fiend from the Nine Hells, or is it like an abyssal fiend?
You know that all of these creatures, I believe, that you're able to recognize are demons,
Not devils. Okay.
not devils. And a spined devil is a devil.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's different types of fiends, right? There's demons and devils. All these things here are demons. They're different than what you fought. That's a devil. The spine devil and these things would possibly fight each other in the blood war.
Was there any text anywhere? Anything written underneath of it?
I forgot.
No.
No? No text anywhere? Okay.
Nope. All these bas reliefs with
They're just
carvings in them.
They're just pictures of beings.
Yeah,
and
carvings
bones.
of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the Kenku real bones?
Give me an investigation check. As you move down, kind of looking at him, you see the skeleton still kind of sitting there, as you would expect it to be. You do notice that some of the bones are a bit misplaced, almost after the body kind of fell in one place, and then you see its arms kind of misshapen just a little bit, but it's definitely a real skeleton.
Can I tell what's holding it up and together?
No, it's on the ground. It's laying down.
Oh, it was on the
Oh,
ground
it's like-
with
Yeah,
an
it's like-
outstretched hand.
Oh, okay. That is not my
Yeah.
mental picture that I had in my head.
Yeah,
I was
no,
like
it's,
sitting up skeleton like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's
King
what I thought
skeleton
too.
lies on the floor.
Anything about it? Any like clothes that have kind of deteriorated away, or like scratch marks on the floor, or any like signs of death or movement or anything with my investigation check?
You're not seeing any signs of what killed it, causes of death. You're already able to tell with that investigation check that it definitely seems like the bones have been kind of placed here, almost if they were arranged in this way.
Remind me, which demon was the Kenku pointing at?
The Nalfeshni. So when Jot's ready, I want her help to investigate the Nalfeshni relief.
Okay. So Jot, you finish your incantation, able to start seeing the magic of the world. You're immediately assaulted, and your eyes have to adjust a bit because you're just everything around you is emanating some kind of magic. You're seeing the walls, the floor, the ceiling, all have this magic tainted through it. But you close your eyes and you start ignoring this kind of basic, you're able to tell like little pieces of like reinforcement magic and some other things intertwined in it. But it's just infusing everything around you. You adjust your eyes, kind of almost like ignoring, background noise or something is what you do, so you can focus more on what's standing out. As you look around, nothing really picks up aside from the magical items that belong to your party.
Okay. So now I'm curious. The reinforcement magic, is that like a lot of like abjuration-y type stuff? What is it? Seem like?
It's probably enchantment, right?
Probably abjuration.
Abjuration. It's abjuration, conjuration.
Abjuration
and,
is
yeah, there's a few things that you're telling some
generally
colors that you
protection
haven't seen
spells.
before.
Like wards and things of that nature.
This place is very magical.
I know, isn't it beautiful?
No, it's actually literally magical. Like the walls are magical. But the Kenku's not, and the statues also not. I guess we'll go over and check out the Nefeshni.
Yeah, I'll help Jot investigate the Nalfeshni, see if we can find anything weird about
Looking
it.
around, is there any like with that statue anything abnormal, like looking around it, any writing, any parts that seem like they move or anything like that? Excuse me.
And Havoc Risk is just kind of standing guard while the smart people do their thing. He's just listening or looking for any movement or listening to see if he hears anything. Just kind of...
Okay.
Guys, it's not trapped.
Make a perception check for me, Risk. As both of you are investigating the Nalfeshni carving, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of y'all give me either an investigation or perception check with advantage. One of you.
Go ahead, Jot.
Okay. There it is.
As you're looking over this, this carving against inside this bas relief, you're moving across it, and you notice something kind of odd. As you're looking down, about waist level for you, ankle level for everyone else.
Fuck you.
That might be a little bit extreme.
That is not accurate at all.
You see... Oh, actually, never mind. You don't see that. You
Come
see this kind of outline that seems to be... You feel a little bit of air coming out the sides of the bas relief. You believe that there's something behind this carving. As you're kind of feeling the air and everything, you get this smell, and it's a bit putrid. Your mind immediately is revolted back to a memory of you walking through the sewers.
Feels like home.
That smells like shit.
Can we find a way that it opens or slides?
Yeah, knowing it's there, you would see that it's apparently just needs to be pushed.
So, back in the days when we used to be on the surface of the world, weren't the Kenku hired by the Xanathar?
Yep.
And if that smells like shit, probably leads to shit sewers.
We don't see any Xanathar symbols right around this or anything.
Nope. Just lots of demons.
Oh shit, let's push it.
Oh, I was thinking we should jam it so they can't come in here.
What if we pushed it first and then later we jammed it?
Kai, Risk, Talia, this is what we found. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's a lead. I say we follow it.
I pushed it.
Are you talking about having a skeleton buddy there, Kai?
Yeah.
You mean Seamus?
What? That was a message. He didn't say that out loud.
Yeah. Only Risk.
I only read parts of the words.
Risk just shrugs. Like, yeah, fuck it.
As Jot and Viz kind of stand there, start pushing on this, you see the wall first doesn't give and then slides back, kind of clanking and making a loud boom, or not super loud boom, but just doom. And then it slowly starts to ease off to the right into the wall next to it. You see beyond it, what appears to be a small kind of 10-foot square cubicle, and then you see a 5-foot wide and tall tunnel leading off of it down to the southeast.
Did the smell of shit get a lot stronger?
Oh
when it
yeah,
opened?
just whoa, all of you smell it now.
Looking down the passageway, like, is it is the floor wet there? Like, it looks like it's drainage there, or
Not that you see, no.
let's see.
Kai's
And nothing
going.
Vissies.
Kai's going to look over at Jot and ask the same question he asked to Risk. What
Out
do you?
loud, or
Yes. As she starts to walk by, he's gonna kind of reach down, and
Oh,
kind of grab
sorry.
onto her
I'm
shoulder.
not touching my token Havoc because everything
Yeah.
keeps crashing. Just assume that I'm over wherever this statue is. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you.
That's fine. So yeah, she's walking by, kind of reach down and grab onto her shoulder and say, "Do you think we can bring this one with us?" And point down to the skeleton of the Kenku.
Is oh, you wanna turn him into a
Skeleton.
a fighty boy?
A skeleton. He'll assist us, protect us.
I mean, I guess it's not the worst option that I could pick, so knock yourself out.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, I guess Kai will kind of nod and...
Did somebody like investigate him thoroughly before we turned him into a fighty boy?
Visit.
I confirmed
Okay.
he was naked and real.
Okay, cool.
Also missing a few
And-
bones.
And not magical. Okay.
Okay. Then Kai will reach into his component pouch, pull out a small bit of kind of flesh that he's pulled from like a pig, and a little bit of bone dust, and takes his dagger and kind of pricks the finger and is going to cast Animate Dead.
All right.
Bone dust is something that everyone totally carries normally.
100%.
I think you actually got the flesh from that other necromancer's spellbook.
Well, so my thought process is the flesh doesn't have to be humanoid. It doesn't specify that. It just has to be flesh. So it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to a tanner or, you know, like a butcher, you could get bones and you can get bone dust. You know, this stuff's readily available. So waste not, want not.
Necromancy, it's for everyone.
Necromancy.
It's for everyone. It's for the whole family. All right, so you all watch as Kai getting consent for everyone to practice his interesting arts. Kneels over, pulling out the components, and as he draws blood, looking down, you see the skeleton beginning to shake. And then you see this green energy kind of starting to sink in and suffuse the bones. And you see them judder and twist, moving up, raising up one of its hands that was pointing at the Nalfeshni, raising up towards the ceiling, moving back down as it lifts itself off the ground, and a skeleton stands up. Clacking, hollow bone sounds on bone. And it kind of looks over towards Kai and then rests.
Does it trigger your spidey sense?
The detect magic? I was gonna ask. I assume I'm getting necromancy as he's casting.
Oh,
it.
I meant his life sense thing.
Life sense stuff. Oh, okay.
I would assume so, right? Yes.
Life sense?
Unless
No,
it's-
I would get
unless-
nothing off of that.
Nothing? Oh, there you go.
That based on how life sense should work, there's no actual life there, right?
But
Here's
it
life
has
sense.
HP.
It
That's
You
less
just
they
gave
get
it
HP is Yeah,
But it's
I was
not.
thinking
It's the
nature like
flow
that.
of life itself. It's not alive.
Oh,
It's not a living being. So I wouldn't sense that.
So your life sense will never be good against undead, then.
Correct. That is correct. My life sense only works against actual living beings, not the undead.
How can you undo this? Like, what if Skullport's around the corner and we walk into like a town? Can you like undo it if we need to?
I believe so. I'm looking. I'm trying to read the spell, but I'm pretty sure that.
Kai's like, this is my first time doing this.
Yeah, literally.
Do you have a safety word?
I don't think so, because I think you just have to keep maintaining control, or
Yeah.
we just recap.
After 24 hours, it
Yeah.
it just becomes its own thing.
Oh wait,
Tries
after
to kill-
when the
tries to
spell
kill
ends,
us
it
all.
still exists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah, I think so.
And then it would try to kill us because it's a skeleton.
Yep.
So every 24 hours, we have to kill your underlings and just put their bones back in the bag.
or he recasts it, and then
Or I recast it before that 24 hours, and
So
it resets.
technically, you're bringing a murderer that can kill all of us along with us.
No,
Not a
it
very
won't
good
kill all
murderer.
of us.
If we
he
die
died
to a
once.
Kenku skeleton, we deserve to die.
Unless he
Also
kills
true.
us in our sleep.
Dude, imagine the 24-hour, like Havoc's timing it perfectly. 24 hours runs out mid-fight.
Okay, so do you guys want to go down the sewer tunnel, or should we continue exploring, like, the normal path?
Do I see? Okay. No, I don't. I see what looks like pillars down the hall.
As you're looking down below, you see,
I can see out to about here.
At the west end of this 20-foot wide hall, you see stairs descend 10 feet to a room lined with pillars. As you're kind of looking a bit further, just getting the sight of a few, you see similar staircases descend into the room from 10-foot wide tunnels leading northwest and south.
All right. No, I guess we can continue this way. That's fine.
Which way is this way? Sewer?
Yeah, the way you guys are already headed.
Okay. Yeah, just check it out, see what happens, you know. Worst
All
case,
Is this tunnel
Sound like
also magic, Jot?
is it? Yeah. It seems like it's just everywhere. Kind of makes my head hurt a little bit, actually.
So it's magical shit.
No, the walls. Like, there's some stuff doesn't make sense.
I feel like Jot's
Alright.
lying to me. Jot's never not had the answer.
Surprise, surprise.
Hurts that Jot would lie to me.
Insight check me. Insight.
I will
Do it.
never insight check my friends.
Do
I would
it.
just be personally offended.
Do it.
Make it.
Look, I'll roll it. Ha!
Yeah.
I am lying. It's a deception check.
I'm not checking.
As you're all moving
You don't even
forward
know if you are.
down
know
this
if I'm
hallway, it's once again it's a bit tighter than the gigantic hallway you were in before. As you get to the bottom of it, you see the room it opens up to is flooded. You notice that the floor of the room tilts. Its west end seems to be about 6 feet lower than its east end. You see foul sewer water covers the floor, barely reaching the east wall, but as you're kind of testing the water, literally, you can tell that it deepens by 1 foot for every 10 feet of travel westward.
Roll 20. Why?
The star is just something.
Waiting 1 moment.
The star you see, a wide alcove in the north wall, contains what appears to be a life-size statue of a fish-like creature. Talia immediately recognizes this as a Sawagwin. Sahu?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I have no.
One
clue.
second.
She has to join us.
Sahuagin. Sahuagin?
It's working on loading in.
Oh, it crashed.
Sahuagin.
Sahuagin. That's how you say it.
Hooligan.
We
Thank
heard
you,
it,
Matt
actually.
Mercer. Thank
We
you, Matt
heard the
Mercer.
voice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Shouldn't have been capturing that. What did that go through? Wait 1 second. I gotta test this.
Sahuagin.
Sahu again.
Sahuagin.
Hooligan. I love that they had Matt and Marisha do all of the
Mhm.
pronunciations of everything.
Yeah.
So
Sahuagin.
Still hear it.
What
So
is that
here-
going through? I'm so confused. Oh, that's what it's going through. Here,
Don't
that's
hear it. Nope.
Nailed it. Control. I have it. Yes.
totally took
Okay.
like 5 tries. We got it.
Well, I didn't change anything until I figured out where the hell it was going through, which meter is bouncing.
Yeah.
All right, so it's a Sahuagin. Talia does recognize when she finally makes it down there. The rest of y'all are a bit fuzzy on deep sea creatures.
What do I know about this thing?
Make a history check or a nature check rather with advantage.
It's lawful evil and it eats babies.
Are you
Sahuagin.
sure you don't want a history?
Yeah.
Nah, nature's fine.
Oh. It's a Sahuagin.
I've
you
seen
know
that
the
thing
very
before.
basic information. You were taught about them when you were younger. You know that they were your enemies. They're humanoid creatures, very dangerous in large groups, and they were pretty evil from what you were told when you were younger.
I'm gonna spit on it and be like, fuck these guys. If you see them, just kill them. Don't even ask any questions. Just kill them. They're bastards.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, it's about 20 feet away from you to the west through the putrid sewer water. So if you'd like to spit on it.
I wasn't gonna say anything, shoot.
She's very good at spitting, okay?
That's an intense
Roll
spit.
a spit check.
So, is there any way to pass this water without trudging through it?
Make an investigation check or a perception check. As you're looking around, you're seeing that the water directly in front of you is pretty shallow. Only about man, it doesn't give me any depths. Only about a foot deep or so. Inconvenient, but not terrible. But you're definitely seeing that it's just slanted off. This room is basically doing this as it goes to the west. It's getting deeper and deeper as you get closer to the statue in the other end of the room. Don't see any way to bypass it.
I hold out my hand to Viz.
Okay.
Okay, I take his hand, snap Seamus out, and start looking through his eyes. Send him
Okay.
flying out across the room.
All right. As you do so, Seamus does have dark vision, right?
He's an owl.
Yeah. As you're looking through his eyes, kind of glancing around, you do see this statue in the kind of grays and such of the dim light. As you look further around the room, you see another alcove kind of going off to the south, but don't see anything resting there. Only the statue seems to be there about
Oh,
three
this
quarters
dead
of the way down
ends.
there.
This dead ends
Yes.
right here. Okay, cool. I can see
Yeah,
that.
just another small alcove, yeah.
I have him just kind of like flutter up to the statue and kind of like inspect it through his eyes.
Peck at it.
Okay. Do a perception check through Seamus.
Okay. Or wait, for him?
Yes. Looking through his eyes.
Sorry. Every time I've opened it multiple times, and every time it's crashed, it closes again. Perception.
How many times do I have to open this? At least once more. As you're looking, you notice, kind of looking a bit closer, you notice that the Sahuagin's head is kind of turned oddly compared to its body. Its body's kind of holding up a spear forward, but you see its head's like kind of jutted off, looking over towards the west wall. You flutter up a little bit closer, and as you're looking, you see what appear to be these lines through its neck, where its head's kind of elongated up higher than it should be. Seems there's some like screw marks where the head has been twisted upwards.
Okay. Yeah,
Everybody's rolled
I'm
what he
just
discussed.
not gonna reload it because it's like the third time I've done this. My sheets are still here, so I'm just gonna do that. So I'll like
Browser.
narrate what. Yeah, I might actually. That actually is a good idea. Browser. Like narrate what I'm seeing is like the head seems like it turns and it's looking this way. And I wasn't getting any. You said it was about 20 feet away. Is my detect magic still up?
Yeah, it's probably gonna a couple minutes.
Was I getting any detect magic off of it at all?
Checking. No more than you're getting from anything else now.
Okay. All right. I'll have Seamus come back to me, and I'll let go of his hand and come back to my own senses.
Okay.
Seems like so. It seemed like the head possibly moves.
The lines kind of dictated, and you were able to perceive that it seems like the head might unscrew from the neck. Plunk.
Don't know what to make of this. Do you guys have any ideas? Oh, weird.
I barely understand where we are, let alone when there's a room full of sewer water and then a head that screws up. I definitely don't understand.
I also wonder, like, okay, why is this here?
What if we tried turning the head to make it face in like the direction the body's facing?
Do you want to wade in the shit water?
Yep, I'll do it.
Kai will send the skeleton in to do it.
Look, we don't have shit water.
Oh, well.
So I'll go with Talia in case I start to drown. Maybe she can save me.
As you start wading through the shitwater viz, you turn around and hear somebody else moving behind you, and you see the skeleton just kind of shakily moving forward, its arms just going back and forth as it moves up behind you, kind of looking at you and then stopping and then turning around to look at Kai. Risk, as you get closer, the light from your sword kind of illuminating things further. You see much of the same, this Sahuagin statue shining or kind of reflecting the light a bit. You see that its head is definitely turned in an awkward angle, and with the light shining as well from your sword, you're able to definitely tell there seems to be like corkscrew marks across its neck, and it's been lifted up like halfway, but then stopped.
How wide would the neck be? Is it like human-sized neck, or is it a
Maybe
really
a-
big statue?
Maybe, no, it's a life-size statue, so it's a little bit thicker than a human neck, but not much.
The skeleton also has dark vision 60 feet. So,
Not of sight.
yeah, I can't currently see it.
Oh,
Because
has
it's-
sight.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Dead Kenku has better vision than I do. Great.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I want to try and turn it, the head, so it's facing like the properly aligned with the rest of the body.
Okay. All right. So as you're adjusting it, touching the head, and kind of moving it over, adjusting yourself in the water, is everybody else just standing out of the water, or you all moved down into the shallow end?
Not in the water.
Yeah, not in the water.
Can you prestidigitate the entire room?
The dirt has to go somewhere still, so I can clean you off once you're out of it.
Take it.
But the skeleton is helping Risk. So.
Okay. Talia, Viz, are y'all just waiting in the hallway?
Yeah.
If you drowned, I'll try and help you.
All right. So everybody else
Can I
avoiding the shit
insight
water.
check that?
We all know she doesn't mean it. So Viz and the skeleton make perception checks for me. Odd asking the skeleton to.
Oh, I have to.
Or sorry, not Viz.
not
Sorry,
in the-
Risk,
okay,
not Viz.
Perception.
I thought I was sneaking up on the hallway.
Yep.
All right.
I'm going to change that.
Okay, so you watch Risk reaching up and grabbing hold of the Sahuagin's head. It's has like these fins outstretched from the side, all made of stone, so you're able to grab hold of it and start moving it. It slides, it's a bit rough and such, but you get the head kind of more looking to it. You see its neck is still oddly extended, though, because it seems like it's been rotated more than once around and kind of moved up this corkscrew.
Can I try and see if it'll like pop down, or I have to keep rotating it?
Yeah, you could try doing it one way or another.
Righty tighty,
But-
lefty loosey.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence saving throw first.
Oh no.
Natural 20. Okay.
What?
So you feel you feel as you're reaching up and you're kind of looking at it, trying to figure out which way makes the head go up or down, and then something bumps into you in the water that's up above your waist. And then you feel this headache pressing in from the back of your head, and you turn around and you see this odd ooze eking up out of the water, sliming towards you. I need everybody to go ahead and roll for initiative.
Okay.
Baby shark. Oh shit, miss! What the fuck? All the natural 20s. Okay. I loaded this
I'm out
in
of
Chrome.
drink.
We'll
Before
see.
we start battle, can we take
Yeah,
a
can we take
Yes,
a
yes, we are going to. Yeah, once we get everybody rolled.
Let me check that spell, because I think it has its own roll.
The skeleton.
Nope,
I feel like
it's on
you-
bonus
you got-
action.
Yeah.
Yep, it's
yeah.
bonus action.
I thought you
All right,
used
cool.
one of your things to order it.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go.
I got to use necromancy today.
Hey.
Today was a good day.
Today was a good day.
I think Risk
Here,
probably has a higher
journals.
dex.
Yes. I have a 2.
Ooh. Alrighty, so with that, you all see something moving out of the water as Risk is turning around, holding his head, a bit confused, but then sees something in the water is with him and the skeleton. But before we go ahead and continue this combat, let's go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break, get
Yeah.
refreshments and such for all these natural 20s that y'all keep rolling.
Yeah.
Alright, quick break, be right back.
Okay, you heard him, guys. We're going to take us a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to get into our first combat of the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So thank you for tuning in. Stick around. We will be right back.
Not a shout of fear, but definitely
Heck and
let's
heck.
have a shout of, oh shit,
Thanks,
there's something
Hawks,
behind me.
for the
Thus letting
2-month
everyone know that
subscription.
There's something going on. There's something besides just a
All
skeleton
right,
in this water.
let's
with
do it.
All right.
I was like-
Risk.
Oh, that was the skeleton. Sorry.
Yeah, Risk, it is your turn first.
Heck and heck.
Risk is going to turn around. What the fuck is that? I'm just going to swing. Oh, that was the roll. There's okay. I'm using the Moon Touch sword, but it's a 23 hit.
23 does hit.
Yeah, and I'm going to swing again. Does an 11 hit?
11 hits.
Nice.
Oh, okay. And then bonus action hand crossbow shot.
Oh.
Yeah. What the fuck is this?
Wait, not roll 20. Let me update. All right.
I see Risk in 2 different places.
Which one's the real Risk?
Yeah.
Did Risk actually make that intelligence saving throw? Maybe he failed it. Now there's 2 risks.
There's a different Risk. All right, so Risk turning around, wading through the water, still not impeded though. You're not quite deep enough for it to start messing with you in combat. As you swing downwards with the Moon Touch sword, it splashes in the water as you cut through this ooze that's moving forward, trying to attack you. 2 attacks, both hitting this very slow-moving creature, carving through it, doing some damage as you see bits of it kind of sloshing off to the side. Yeah. Anything else? Firing off the hand crossbow as well, hitting it. You do see a bit of steam coming up as the bolt begins to start to corrode after it enters into the ooze. But your sword seems fine.
Okay. Alright, that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, Viz, you hear combat. What'd you like to do?
Can I also see combat?
Oh, can you?
I mean, I can on my screen, but you said I just hear it.
Okay, you also see it
Okay.
with your eye holes.
Do I see anything else in the water, or
You could spend a few seconds, give me a perception check if you want to look real closely. If you want to just glance, then no, you see 3 individuals, a ooze, skeleton,
yeah,
and Risk.
just as my
running around.
passive perception? Do I see anything else about?
No.
Okay. Am I flanking it since the skeleton is across from it?
If you move 2 squares to your south, yes. Into the shitwater.
I'm in the shitwater.
All right, splash, squish, squelch, squelch. Now you were flanking it.
Does a 14 guiding bolt hit?
It does.
Pachoo.
16. Nice.
Again, kind of reaching to his chest and pulling out the light from his chest. He's going to hurl the guiding bolt at it. Make it glow with some faint sparkles and radiate some pure white light. And then I'm going to step out of the shit. And my turn.
Okay. So Viz stepping out, his hand beginning to glow with this radiant energy, flinging it outwards, setting this ooze not on fire, but instead kind of sparking off radiant light, making the next attack have advantage on it. Jot, your turn.
If I attack it with something that's a saving throw, does that waste the advantage?
No, it'll be, well,
I don't remember with the spell. I don't remember the specifics.
I was think it's only if you roll a 2 hit, but let me double check.
I just don't. I don't want to.
The next attack roll.
Attack roll, yeah, it has to be an attack
Okay.
roll, so it'll persist.
Cool. Having done some studying of creatures, do I know what this is?
Make a nature check.
Oh, sorry, I still have advantage.
As you're looking at it, it's hard to tell in the water and such as it moving around, but you're definitely seeing gray coloration and the slow-moving, easy-to-hit target as the moon touch sword is slashing into it. You're able to tell that this is probably a gray ooze of some kind.
Okay.
It's acidic to the touch. Can be very dangerous in close proximity.
Riz, be careful! I will cast Frostbite at it, which is a con saving throw.
Okay.
Of 15.
Natural 20, 23.
Ooh.
Nothing happens then.
Okay.
Practice with the spell very much. Okay. That's all. The turn.
All right, Jot trying to attack the creature, lunging out with this attack, but unfortunately the thing kind of dips into the water, dodging it. Yeah.
Dip.
Okay.
Duck, dive. Dodge.
Dick, duck, dive. Dick, dodge. Dick, duck, dive. Dodge. Risk. You notice as another one sloshes out of the water beside you and begins moving towards you as well. All right. Go ahead and give me one more intelligence saving throw. And the other one's going to try to attack you.
Oh no!
Oh dear. Okay. Well, that was a natural 20 on the attack. And that saving throw failed. So, you feel that headache pressing against your mind from the one that you're wailing on that looks mostly gone, its ooze form disintegrating into the water, but still has presence enough to reach out and invade your mind. You take 18 18 psychic damage. Ooh. Oof. Max rolls. Okay. The other one slams into you, and as it does so, you feel this burning sensation going across your side for where it's impacting into your... kind of armor are you wearing?
Studded leather. Yep.
Studded leather? Okay, you see bits and pieces of your studded leather armor beginning to burn away as you take... Oh wait, it's a natural 20. I get to roll on the table.
No, you don't.
That's exciting.
No, you don't.
D100.
What table? There's no table.
Well,
Wow.
Risky was good knowing you. Sorry about your dad.
Hope you have a backup plan. I guess that means we don't have to go in here after all.
Yeah, I guess we'll just go back out.
only do this on the first one. Okay. Oh, God, you've had this one before. This
Don't fudge the
sucks.
rolls.
I'm not. Okay, so you're gonna take 14 bludgeoning damage and 13 acid damage for 27 total.
Oh God,
I'm
Risk.
going to
fuck,
cutting
you're
words.
not far.
I'm cutting words. One of the attacks, the acid,
Okay.
reducing it by 5.
Oh, nice.
As it lunges into your side, so go ahead and describe Risk. When you attack with, like you did last turn, with your short sword and your hand crossbow, are you like offhand attacking with your hand crossbow? So it's like in your left hand, you're swinging the other one with your right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as this thing's lunging into you on your left side, it burns into your side. You feel your armor melting away, and then you feel this burning sensation going up your side as some of the skin begins to melt almost all the way down to the bone. You cringe over to the side, and you realize that attacking and raising your arm is going to be difficult for some time. Any attacks due to this permanent injury for the time being with your offhand will be at disadvantage. All right.
Can you mark the one that I guiding bolted?
Sure. There you go. Okay, that's their turn. Talia, something's happening.
What the fuck did you guys get into? I'd like to rage.
Okay.
And then move out there. I have to get really close to count the squares. Sorry. Yeah, to there.
If you click and hold and press the Q key, it will give you a measurement tool.
What?
Yeah, so if you click and hold your token and then press Q and then move, you can keep pressing Q and it'll do actual movement for you. So if you go like this, you can do something like that.
Nice.
And it shows the actual distance you're going. Just
I'm gonna have to practice that. And then I'd like to hit it with my great axe.
Okay. 13 will hit for 14 slashing damage. Okay. Come on, roll 20.
And then I'd like
Alright.
to hit it again.
Okay.
Did you include a rage damage on that? Is that added to it?
+2.
Oh, shit, I had a thing. One minute.
Yeah, it's still not on
So
there.
16 damage.
Nice.
16. Okay.
I didn't hit the checkbox. That's on me.
Alright, another 2.
Oh, good thing
that's a
she's
hit,
flanking. She's
Oh,
flanking
yeah,
it.
you are flanking. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 9 or a 20 would have both hit, so
Okay.
She's-
Oh.
I can't remember. I know it's low.
ooze
I
are
can't remember how low it
very
is.
not fast.
Yeah. I knew it
So
was
as you
low.
bring, seeing Risk reacting and getting slapped in the side by this thing, you bring up behind it, bringing up your great axe, slamming it down. As you do so, you shove it underwater, and it kind of buoyantly bounces back up. As you raise your great axe again, as it comes down the second time, you rend through it completely, just slicing through the remainder, almost splattering it across the water. As you bring your great axe looking down, you see there's no remnants of this gray ooze. You hear a sound, though, and you look up at the blade of your great axe, and you see pop marks and such all through it. We'll get back to that. Okay, anything else, Talia?
Do I recognize these things now that I've seen them?
The oozes?
Yes.
Have y'all fought these before? I can't remember.
We found a
Mm.
I don't think so.
black.
We fought a black ooze
Yes.
and a clear ooze.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
the
gray oozes, yeah.
Like
It's-
what I got trapped
Gelatinous
in.
cube.
Yeah, the gelatinous.
Yeah,
gelatinous
definitely not a gelatinous cube. It's not see-through. It seems to be very acidic and dangerous, though, based on what you're seeing is being done to your axe. The blade of your
Did
axe
it
seems
look
to be
like my
melting.
skin when I was in the gelatinous cube?
Kinda, yeah. A little bit.
Oh fuck!
So you hear Oh, fuck! From inside the room. Kai!
Kai's going to step down here, see what the hell's going on. Going to bonus action command the skeleton to attack with his short sword.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Wait, what happened?
Nat 20.
Oh, nice. Okay, good things. Good things.
Good things.
Okay. Yeah, that'll hit. You can roll if you want to. It's dead. So
Okay, it's fine. It's dead.
that thing had no HP left. All right. So is your
get a sword?
had one laying next to him, I guess, because I
There's-
forgot to remove it. So
As it turned into a skeleton, its arm just turned into.
Turns into a
picked up
sword.
one of the extra bones.
It's got a bone sword.
He also
sword now.
he also has a short bow too. So
Just
And a grenade
pulled out-
launcher.
pulled out
and a
one of
grenade
his
launcher. Just random necromancy things.
Also, the short
Yes.
sword is actually a holy avenger.
Playing knife.
And he's got a tactical nuke. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
You know,
So
we don't make the
convenient.
rules, Havoc. We just follow them.
I just
follow
follow
it.
the rules.
Bag of holding
It's-
of weapons on him. It's
It
so
sucks that you're
weird.
gonna TPK in a room full of sewer water. That's just...
And
All right,
then
so-
hold on.
died in the thick of it.
No, hold on. My turn's not over. I'm gonna primary action heal. Walk up and healing words to Risk
Thank you.
to help him out a little bit.
All right, so as you start wading through the water back into this area, those of you that really got into the thick of it there start noticing things. Kai, you noticing something as well with your skeleton and his short sword. You see the short sword, while already rusted over and such, is melting through a part of it. You see the great axe that Talia is wielding is also melted through across it in pieces. And you see wrist-studded leather armor has melted a little bit too. -2 to attack or to damage rolls for Talia. -1 to AC on the studded leather, and -1 to the short sword damage. As of now.
Hey, Talia, can I
alright.
see your great axe?
Are we still in combat?
No. I'm working on it. There we go.
I don't think I could hold. I don't know. Can I hold your great axe even? Is it too?
I'm just gonna like let the head of it like drop and just with my head it drops, dude. Just like
Okay. I don't know if this will work or not. Let me try something. I'll reach into my component pouch, pull out a couple of magnets, and touch the great axe, and like kind of like holding one magnet in each hand, kind of run it along the areas where it's pockmarked, and cast mending.
Okay. As you watch Jot doing so, taking these magnets, kind of pressing them on both sides, her small hands going along the blade, you see a trail behind about halfway down the blade that's damaged. The steel almost reforming underneath the magnets and solidifying again, and you see the blade is back honed, but only about halfway.
I'll cast it again.
Finishes up the rest of it.
it's
Just
beautiful.
making sure we all know how that works.
Yeah. Each time I cast it, it reduces the thing by 1, right? Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna kiss
Okay.
Jot on the head and then hug my axe.
Would you fix my armor too?
Sure.
And Havoc, I'm going to use my second wind.
Ah, don't stop. Don't,
Yeah, no.
Don't
No.
don't overexert yourself.
No.
The second one.
You
Please,
literally have
please allow me.
You all see him
spellcasters.
about to flex, and you're like, no, not right now.
He
No,
starts,
no,
like,
we don't want to see
breathing
that.
really
We don't
hard.
wanna see- I don't know what you're about to do, but stop, please. Not in front of the judge.
You're making that face again. You need to actually roll.
Alrighty, for the sake of brevity.
all of you.
Sick.
For the
I
sake
rolled a
of
1.
brevity, you can repair all the weapons and such with mending.
Take 6 for me. That was
Super
a-
unfortunate rolls.
How much?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Risk?
About half as good as I could be.
And then I'm going to use my Warlock spell slot and cast Cure Wounds at level 1. Sick.
Your warlock powers are better than your bard powers.
I mean, they.
Feel?
God, 2 1s on my first cast.
I
Alright,
know,
so-
that's why I said really unfortunate rolls.
All right.
God damn.
I don't make the
Um,
dice. I just roll them.
Can I check the mental health of Risk as I'm laying healing hands on him? Right? Is he still feeling psychic effects?
Are you Risk?
Am I Havoc? Nah, I feel good.
You kept on mentioning a headache.
Yeah,
You feel better now?
Ready for round 2 now?
honestly, whenever I see Talia kill something, it makes me feel better.
I know you like it.
Skeleton shambling over to Jot.
John runs away.
my my arms are a little fucked up.
No, don't.
So, what's up with the
This is
statue?
gonna be really fun.
If you say bone sword really fast, you touched his bone sword.
So about that statue, as you're looking at it, now lots of sources of light shining on it, you're all able to tell that apparently it looks like this head screws down onto the body, or at this point it seems like it's partially lifted up, but seems like it needs to be screwed off a little bit further for it to come off completely. What do you want to do?
I want to screw off completely.
That's so weird.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
I want to help.
Risk
I'm
reaches up.
admiring
It's
my axe.
how much in it? As you're watching it, you see Risk is turning it one way. Viz kind of points to that. It's going back down, and Risk checks his head, ignoring it, and switches back off. You see the head rising up after about 3 turns, raising up, and it kind of goes cattywampus a bit. And you lift it up. It's a little bit heavy, weighing about 10 pounds or so, but you raise it back down. As you get a bit of closer, kind of eye-to-eye level look at this, like it was a little bit taller than you. You see the eyes of this that hooligan's head are drilled out. There's nothing there. And as you look up to the top where the neck of the statue is, you see it flat at the top. Inside you see 2 what were candles, but they've burned all the way down, the wax kind of covering the top there. It almost looks like wax candles could have been lit on the inside, and it would cause that eerie light to shine out through the eye holes. Also, in between both the candles, kind of partially covered in wax, you see a what appears to be this small lock with a key sitting up next to it.
I'm not fucking with this one.
Do it. Unlock it.
Can I put the key in the hole?
I love that you just all I have to do is say do it. You're like, okay, fine.
Yeah. You can chicken
As
chip me
you-
into anything.
Reach up, you see this lock just kind of sitting there beside all the wax, not attached to anything, but Risk
Well,
takes
yeah,
the key and puts
actually,
it in.
yeah, okay.
Click it, and the little latch on the top of it pops open to the side.
So the lock's not like attached to the.
Just sitting there on top of the statue.
And what happens when I put the key in the lock?
Plug it in, turn it, unlocks.
What was in there? Reach
It's
in.
It's just a lock
it's
sitting
just a
on top
lock.
of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any ideas of where we go from here?
Shot.
Hmm.
I'll say detect magic is just about to fade away. You do notice magic radiating from this
That's
lock.
something. That's magic. It's magic. Can I see it, please?
I'm gonna hand it to Jot.
What kind of magic?
Fuckery magic? I don't know.
God damn it! This is a wizard
Illusion?
made this shit. I don't know what fucking Hallister made this. Guaranteed.
It's fuckery magic. I don't know what kind of magic it is.
Wizards are bullshit, man.
Oh.
Oh no! You ram your knee.
That one's just money. It's fine. I have another one.
Yeah, you only need one knee.
You can replace them.
Really smarted. Yeah.
Did you say
that locks-
smarted?
It's smarted, yes.
Okay.
I'll just tuck it away for now, and we'll come back to that later, perhaps.
Okay.
If I can't get
All
it
right.
right now.
Identify would probably help you out a little
Yeah,
bit.
I assume it would. I just don't want to spend the 10 minutes right now to do that. Unless you guys want to wait 10 minutes for me to figure out what this does.
Not in this room.
I didn't think.
Yeah,
you did.
no.
Yeah.
This smells
But-
bad enough as it is.
Yeah.
Can we get out of here, please? Kai's
One
gonna
more kinda,
continue
like,
walking.
Look around. Nothing else jumping out in this room.
As you're looking around, it smells really bad.
Mhm.
You do notice some cracks in the walls where it seems like the water's kind of moving into it, maybe ever so slowly draining, but you see this constant kind of trickle of water coming down the walls around you that is just constantly refilling this chamber with this sewer water.
Very strange. Why was that Kenku pointing here?
Do we see anything else in the room?
That's what I just asked, glancing around. Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
I meant more like in depth. Like, can we kind of investigate the room, see if there's anything that sticks out, any hidden doors, any?
You can give me a perception or investigation check.
Fortune.
It's good. Risk, as you're kind of moving around, you walk a few feet more to the west, and you see feel the water kind of slowly climbing up towards your chin, and you kind of stop. The western wall is about 10 feet away, but you feel that you're going to be completely underwater if you keep walking that way, or have to start swimming. As you're checking a little bit closer, you're not seeing anything. The water seems to be very stagnant. You may be slowly draining out through some of the cracks, the tiny little slivers of cracks in the walls, but you're not seeing any other exits or anything of that nature in this room.
If I stick my head under the water, would this be
Oh.
considered dark
Breathable
water?
Don't-
I don't recommend this
don't-
at all.
don't-
Yeah, if I go under, can you hurry? Like,
No.
right as I surface, just boom.
Kai,
Can
do-
you? Yeah, definitely.
Kai does not encourage this at all.
It starts dry heaving.
You're not going to be able to see in this water. It's putrid shit water. No
And I'm
amount of
fucking up to my
vision.
chin.
Yup. You wanted to investigate. You're like walking in like, oh, I don't think I see any. Like, I don't think I see
I got some in my mouth. John, can you clean my mouth?
I just started like just constantly casting prestidigitation.
People walking through it. John's like, oh, it smells so bad. All right, for the sake of brevity, please exit the shit room.
Yes, please. Wait, so would you prestidigitate something and go somewhere else?
It just falls off you,
He just
pretty
like,
much.
falls
Throw it
off.
back in
Yeah,
the room.
yeah.
I was really hoping you could set it all up into the Yawning Portal.
Oh no. It's like adjacently.
Fuck you, Dirty.
This'll show
I
you.
shit on your house.
Everyone's gonna go to Troll Skull because the Yawning Portal smells like shit.
Damn septic problems, man. All right, so the party makes their way back through this unworked stone-like cave, moving back into the large hallway. As you're looking around, once again, you see the frescoes all across, or the bas-reliefs rather, all across the wall, showing these different demons moving out from behind where one of them was, where the Nalveshni was. Off to your west, you see stairs leading down to this almost like a forest of pillars all over this room.
Okay, wait. What? Oh, back to the. Sorry, I have
Yeah.
my token. Oh god, it's so.
Oh, did you open Roll20 back up?
I switched over to Chrome. It's so far it hasn't crashed. That's a plus. Okay, so this room just has a lot of like pillars. Okay. And the stairs
As you're
went
moving
down?
in, yes, the stairs went down 10 feet. As you're moving in a bit closer and getting a bit more light in this area, you see all these different pillars rising up. And Risk and Viz, as you're moving in, you see something around one of the pillars looking towards the northmost pillar. You double take, kind of moving around to check it a bit, raising up your sword and staff to shine some light. You see what appears to be a giant snake wrapped around this northmost pillar, but it's all made of bone. And as you're looking closer, you see that it seems to be just decoration.
Oh,
Kai, can you bring that one back?
apparently I picked the wrong thing to turn
You
into
picked
my
the
minion.
wrong skeleton.
Can I look for traps or loose pillars, loose tiles, or anything that's gonna fall down on us?
Make an investigation check.
Where's the snake again? Just all
Northmost
around?
pillar.
Oh, just
Wrapped around the
it.
northmost
Okay,
pillar.
okay.
Yeah, way up there.
Viz, as you're looking around, aside from the skeleton of a giant constrictor snake coiled around the top half of the northmost pillar, you don't see anything else untoward until you get down to the southeast wall, kind of motioning past Kai. As you're looking, you see words written in common, kind of hastily scribbled. And you see the words, "Certain death this way," and then an arrow pointing at the southern exit.
Let's go that way.
Let's
Certain
not go
death.
that way.
I've seen a movie once, and
What's a movie?
certain death was the right way. That's all that came to my head. Certain death.
Certain death.
And also, as you're investigating further, seeing a bit better, you see stairs leading up the southern exit that the certain death this way is pointing towards. To your west, you see another set of stairs leading up 10 feet into another hallway, and much the same to the north.
All right. So,
Um,
which way are we going?
I'm
I
gonna
once-
look at this snake.
I also want to look at the snake.
Okay.
I'm
It's
gonna help Jot look at the snake.
okay. It's a giant constrictor snake. It's coiled up around the top half of this pillar, up above your head.
Just a skeleton, though.
Oh, it's up high. So
Yeah, like
Yeah.
way up there.
Yeah, no, it's like this room is.
What's holding it?
You definitely can't get there, okay?
Pillar.
This room's like 50 feet tall.
shit.
You're seeing that it's just kind of wrapped around the top half of this pillar. It seems to be held on by the bony edges
locked
cleaving to the
into it.
pillar. Yeah. It's very imposing looking, but not attacking you
Well, guys,
yet.
would you guys consider this like a forest of pillars? Because if so, beyond this, the Mad Mage awaits, casting spells behind magic gates.
Yep.
What's a forest?
Good catch. Forest is a lot of trees. A whole bunch of them all close together.
It's like an ocean, but instead
You've
of
never
water,
seen a
there's trees.
forest before?
This is probably her first time on land, so
We really should have spent more time above ground with you and gone places.
you guys had a month and you
I
didn't even
see.
take her to the woods
This
just
is
outside of
best.
here.
I didn't realize you'd never seen a forest. Forests are lovely. There's all
Y'all
this
are bad
green
friends.
and plants, and I wanted to go see the dragon again. We never did that either. So
Talia, before
We're a
you
whole bunch of disappointments.
Talia, before your birthday month is up, we will make sure you get to see a forest.
I mean, I don't know why we'd bother, because, under the sea is where life's better.
Downwards
It's definitely wetter.
Take it from me.
So there's 3 stairways going up.
Kai reaches over and casts inflict wounds onto Risk.
Yes, there's 3 stairways going up. 4 stairways,
Right.
if you include the one you just walked down.
Do I hear anything at any of them? Any light sources at the top of them, or any sounds or anything?
Duckface from Havoc.
Make a perception check. Nah, don't hear anything. Don't see any light, aside from the light provided by your party and yourself.
Kai would like to have the skeleton pull out his short bow and fire an arrow at the skeleton snake on the pillar.
Ooh. I was just gonna ask somebody to touch it, maybe with mage hand, but arrow also.
As you fire off towards the snake skeleton, the arrow fires upwards. This rotted kind of half-made arrow slamming up against the snake. You see it rattle for a second, a piece falling to the ground and clattering heavily, and then you watch all the pieces of the snake falling off, shaking down, clattering very loudly, just all over the ground, all around this pillar, making a ton of noise.
I'm just gonna look at the skeleton like this.
Just watching for it to reanimate. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a bunch of bones on the ground.
Wait, which skeleton are you watching, Steve?
The one that fired the bow and knocked it down.
Okay, well now that it's down on the ground and broken, I'm gonna go look at it some more.
Hey Kai, could you have your skeleton not do that?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
I wanted him to do that.
What?
What was he gonna do? It was either gonna
Can I
stay up
see
there,
Any
or it
other
was going to
motion
come
from where
down.
I'm at?
Jot's right there. It could have squished her.
Jot, as you're looking at it, it's a bunch of bones. You see no markings and such on them. It very large for a you see it's not large enough to be something otherworldly or a monstrosity, but it's a large beast, or it was when it was alive, but it's very dead and very skeleton-y now.
Is the skull part still intact?
Yeah, a little cracked now.
How big is the skull?
Is it Jot sized?
Feels like more like a dragon than a snake.
If its head is as big as me, that's a very concerning size of a skull.
It's pretty large. Probably 1.5 foot across, probably 2 feet long.
So almost Jot sized. Because Jot's
This would
3
have been
foot.
counted as a large creature when it was alive.
Yeah.
My idea to take the skull is not going to work.
I hold out the bag of holding.
Will it fit?
Well,
Space is indefinite.
Well, but
it only has
It's
to
gotta
be
fit through the hole still.
Yeah.
the hole is 2 by 2. So as long as it's within that size, then it will fit.
Yeah, it's 2 feet in length, not
Yep.
in height.
Yes, 2 feet in length. The width was a foot and a half. So
I can cast Fall of Water to
Wait.
loop it in.
Hold on, separate it at the jaw. Put it in 2 halves.
Oh, okay, yeah. Try and carefully attach the jaw from.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
I feel like it should be easy because snakes detach their jaw to eat.
Yeah.
11.
As you're moving it away, it's kind of heavy, so you kind of set it on the ground. You're kind of pulling on it, kind of finagling it. You see that it does have a spot where the bone kind of can be pulled out, almost like a socket. But you see there's a bit of a crack there, and as you pull on it, break off where there was a crack from it falling to the ground. But you're able to get the
Oopsies.
bottom jaw into it, and it's only a little bit broken.
Okay. Well, now it will definitely fit in the bag of holding for sure now.
Sure.
Hold out the bag. I'm going to take a couple of vertebrae as well.
Okay.
Can I
have
make a whip
the
out of the
skull
vertebrae?
and pieces of a giant constrictor snake.
I may do that as well, so I can crush it up and have more spell
No,
components.
that's what I'm doing for you.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Fuck you, I'm being considerate, damn it.
I don't want snake bones. I was going to grind them up and give them to you.
Ruining my present.
You're ruining it, Kai. Stop it.
Okay. All right. So we have. Wait. Let me get the map. Okay. So this way said certain death. Then we
Yep.
have a path this way and a path this way.
Hold on.
When you
I think-
listened before, you didn't hear anything, right?
Right.
Okay.
My gut feeling is straight or right, like this way or this way, north or west.
Well, when you're in a maze, which this is probably a maze, you always keep to the right.
There you go.
Jot sounds like she knows what she's talking about.
What's a maze?
I agree with Jot. I heard once that you always go right as often as possible.
A maze is a thing that wizards who are dicks make to trap you.
What bastards?
They are all wizards are dicks.
And
Most wizards.
Kai immediately turns and looks back at Jot.
Okay, most wizards. I might be a dick. I don't know.
No, you had it right the first time.
Statement stands.
Statement stands.
Statement is accurate and true. It's canonical now.
Honestly, though, it's a true statement.
It is a true statement.
Is Valletta a wizard?
Do what?
I said, is Valletta a wizard?
Probably.
No. It's gonna be like statement stands.
She had magic, but not of the studied, astute kind. More of the
all that
divine.
power. It goes to your head, turns you into a crazy person. You lose touch with reality. You start just making up fun ways to torture people just because you're bored.
So as Jacques continues on, Viz moving forward, you see down this hallway, climbing the stairs. As you get to the top of them, you see the path ahead of you begins to form up to a T ahead of you, going left and right. But you see another alcove leading off to your right as soon as you get to the top of the stairs, and you see it leading to a large wooden door.
I can't actually see the door from where I'm standing, but am I standing in the T or am I standing to the right of the alcove?
Oh shit, I keep forgetting how limited y'all's vision is.
Mine's fine.
This is the T that goes left or right. So where's the alcove?
T is to the north. No, the T is to your north.
Oh, it's this up here. I see it.
Alcove is to your right.
What if we just retroactively decided that his staff was better and it gave him more light than it gives him?
Fuck no. Y'all blind as hell.
I can see fine.
Kai can see fine. What's wrong with the rest of you?
Yeah.
Skeleton can
can't
see
the
fine.
door right here?
Do I see anything about this door? Any words around it? Does it appear locked or trapped
make
or
an
anything?
investigation check. As you're looking at the door, it's somewhat nondescript. It's very large, kind of a heavy wooden door. As you're looking around, you don't see any words or anything of that nature. Yeah, that's it.
Do I hear anything on the other side?
No.
Is it locked?
Doesn't appear to be. You don't see a keyhole or anything.
Kai mentally tells the skeleton to stop and walks forward to check out the T. And looks.
You see two long hallways.
Long
to your left and
hallways. Mm-hmm. Like beyond my sight, he stops and turns around and comes back to the
leading
party.
into darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm backing up, bump into the skeleton, stop, cast Mage Hand, and open the door.
How could you not do that?
I can't see the door, but I know it's there. So I'm sending my hand into the darkness to open the door.
No, I think she's more telling you to be cautious around the skeleton.
No, that wasn't what I was saying either. I
As
just
you're
don't
all
want
standing.
to make noises. It's just, I don't want.
You all hear.
So the hand is following around.
Click, 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 click. Metal on metal.
Ha, got it.
Got it.
Just flopping the hand around until it hits something.
We'll find the door eventually.
Where
As the
are you, door?
opens, those of you with dark vision see into what appears to be another large room. The rest of you, without as much vision, you see what appears to be a dim light coming from beyond the door.
Careful, please. Careful.
I shut the door then.
No.
Are you sure you can shut the door?
Click, click.
Well, nothing stabbed us, so...
But it will.
And it doesn't smell like poop.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. It will.
Well, I heard you say be careful, so I felt like closing the door was good.
No, that's fair. And you watch as the skeleton starts kind of shuffling its way forward.
Yeah, maybe Frank can do it.
Why? How does he growl? He doesn't. He's just bones.
How does he see things he hits?
What?
He has no eyeballs. How does he see things he hits?
That's also.
He has magical eyeballs, okay?
Got magical?
No, he.
Senses.
So he can't. No, I have to tell him what to do.
I just meant like, how does he hit things if he doesn't have eyeballs?
I tell him what to hit.
How does he know where it's at?
He's
Telepathy.
He's kind of a
Sonar. It's like sonar.
How does he hear? How does he perceive sonar?
He feels
As
it
you're
in
all
his
going back
bones,
and
okay?
forth, you hear,
You're
you
right,
hear
he
this
feels it in his
clattering sound.
bones.
He feels it in his bones.
You all hear this clattering sound and then the sound of the door going. And then you all hear echoing down the hallway in front of you.
I'm handing my staff to my mage hand, and I'm kind of following along with
Okay.
15 feet of light in front of me.
As you move into this room,
I'm not moving into that room. Fuck that shit. I'm sending the skeleton in to move into that room.
Thing?
It's a
as you all
sword.
move into this room, you see an unadorned wooden armor stand rests in the middle of this room, with a
Kai's not
faintly
dumb.
glowing longsword stabbed into it.
Mm-hmm. Kai's not
At the
dumb.
base of the stand lies the skeletal remains of a hand, amid stains of dried blood.
No one touched that.
The skeleton's probably
Oh,
gonna
the
touch that.
skeleton's fine. I don't care about him.
Yeah, we don't care about the skeleton.
I care about
He
it.
has emotions now.
Listen here. I can end you at any moment, okay?
I brought you into this world.
I brought you into this world. I could take you out, skeleton son. Kai's going to command the skeleton to reach forward and grab onto the sword and try to pull it from the thing.
Make a charisma check.
The skeleton, unfortunately, forced to do what his master Biz reads up, grabbing hold of this faintly glowing sword and kind of grabs hold of it, turning around.
Mhm.
Does the hand come with the sword?
Yeah, like
Hands
there's
away on the
a.
ground.
Okay, I didn't know
Okay.
it was wrapped around the sword or something.
No, it's like on the ground below the sword.
I envision the hand wrapped around it too, and like the skeleton grabbing onto the hand, grabbing onto the
Hands, like,
sword to
here.
pull the whole thing out. Yeah.
With
Skeleton
mage
grabbed hold
hand,
of the
can I
sword.
nudge the hand?
Clatter, clack, 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 bones rattling across the ground.
Very good. You got a new sword.
This is the longest I've ever gone in a dungeon without making a stealth check, and I'm so happy. Even though I actually have a stealthy
Yeah,
character.
you actually finally have good stealth, and we're like, no, we're not gonna stealth.
Yeah, I've got like +8 to stealth.
If we wait long enough, the skeleton will attune to the sword. Whatever this magic item is that we're about to pick up.
Why don't I figure out what it does first? That might be a good idea. You said there was blood on the ground, right?
Yeah, right next to the skeleton hand.
Can we see what the hand was attached to? Maybe some arm bones, or a body missing a hand, or
You
something
kinda
like
see,
that in
like-
the room.
You know, about 6 inches of forearm.
Any
attached
elbows
to it.
laying around anywhere, or anything like
Not
that?
these. No, don't see any.
Okay.
What size person does the hand look like it belonged to?
The bones are kind of beefy, but still humanoid size. A little bit thicker though.
And what type of sword was that?
Excuse
was
me.
it a long sword,
Sorry,
short
guys.
sword, great sword,
Long
A
is
long
what he said
sword.
originally.
long sword? Okay.
Yes,
I didn't
long
catch.
sword.
This is bait, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
The
100%.
conversation we just had about.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're okay.
Well, looking around the room, anything else? The racket was on. Anything unusual?
Not that you're seeing. Just the rack and where a sword was stabbed into it, but now the
Oh, it was stabbed
skeleton's-
into it.
Yeah, it was stabbed into the armor stand. Skeleton kind of like put his foot up.
And there wasn't
Yanked it
like
out.
a note pinned to the stand or anything like that. It was just the sword.
Oh,
Cool.
sword
All right.
stabbed in there, skeletal hand lying below it, some dry blood around it.
Very well. Skeleton friend now has a new weapon. That's fine. Kai starts walking away. And the skeleton
Isn't it
carries a sword.
continue? There's something over here.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
y'all would notice that. Yeah,
Oh.
As you move across the room.
Let's go back.
As you're moving up, you see a very obvious secret door leading to the south.
Very obvious.
Door.
A bit higher than Jot's head. It's very obvious because it's the backside of the secret door. As you're looking through about 5 feet up in the air, you see 2 eye holes have been bored through the stone here. And you can see that you're probably looking through the holes of one of those demons you saw earlier.
Oh.
Was it? Was it
Oh,
the
it's-
Baylor, Bagora, or the Hezro?
It was the... Let's see. It was one of the creatures you didn't recognize.
Has there been any recent movement here, footprints in the dust, or marks on this? Like, do I think someone was maybe looking at us through here earlier?
Make a investigation or a survival check. As you're looking around, you see a lot of dust kind of coating the room. You see even up next to this backside of a secret door, you're seeing dust covering a lot of the surface here. Not suspecting anybody's been in here for a while.
I like to very carefully touch the weapon stand.
As you reach up and touch the stand,
Nothing
the
happens.
wood's cold beneath your fingers, a bit coarse. Some dust trails along your fingers as well. That's it. Nothing else happens.
Might be a mimic.
Could be a mimic.
Missed opportunity.
Something stabbed into something. Inanimate objects. Probably a mimic.
100% it's this fucking sword that is magical and wants to kill us, and I'm gonna just make the fucking skeleton carry it the whole time
I'm gonna
so we
cast
don't figure it out.
identify on that at some point today. I have a list of things that's compiling.
On my
Cast
list, it's
identify.
right here.
Got the lock thing, I've got the sword thing.
Well, I mean, this seems like a relatively safe room, and we can see if anyone comes down the hallway towards us. Maybe do that stuff here.
I wouldn't be opposed to resting.
Okay.
So, just real quick, we went upstairs, right? So, oh, I guess did we go downstairs?
We went
to
down.
the Pillar Forest.
We went
Down to the Pillar
down. Yep.
Forest.
Yeah.
So we're back up to the same height as we were before. Okay.
Yep.
Yarp.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, let's take a short rest and have Jot identify some stuff, and I'll just hang out here and kind of look through the peepholes and see what we see.
All right. Leaving the door open, shutting it behind you, kind of closing yourself off here for an hour.
Yeah, I definitely want to shut the door.
All right, so as you shut the door, all of you taking a load off risk, kind of leaning against the wall. Some of the wounds still a bit tender from his experience with the gray oozes. As you're all sitting around for about 10 minutes or so, you all hear a odd sound. It's almost a haunting, echoing sound coming in all around you. And as it kind of echoes around the chamber, you all kind of looking at each other, expecting something to happen. It kind of fades as if a breeze had blown into the room full of voices and echoes, and then disappears. That was weird. Just keep resting.
What was
Another
the
10
sound?
minutes.
What was the sound though?
It was like echoes of voices just echoing around.
Indistinct voices.
Yep.
How long did it last?
A few seconds.
Okay. Only once?
As you sit around for another 10, 15 minutes or so, it seems like wind kind of blows through the area again, and you start to gather a little bit more information as you hear these echoing voices, just very haunting and reverberating. You can't understand any words, but you look up and you see holes all through the roof of this room, and you see grates over them, but the voices seem to be coming out of the grates up above you.
I look up to the grating. Can I, with my dark vision, do I see anything on the other side of the grating?
You see stone kind of worked and going up a bit and then disappearing into darkness.
How like small are the grates? Is it like pretty fine?
Very small.
Okay.
Too small for even, like, you see the grates going across whatever this vent is that's on beyond them. You couldn't fit in the beyond vent.
But Seamus.
No.
So tiny though. It's so little.
He's very tiny.
Can I roll hit die? Or are we not?
Yeah, if you want to.
I've also, if that's been 20 minutes, I've cast Identify on the lock and the sword.
Okay. If you do cast any spells, you will not get the benefit of a long
That's
rest.
fine.
Just
I don't need
okay.
short rest, but yeah.
Okay. All right. As you're sitting there, some of you resting, Jot, looking at you said the blocks, the lock and the key, and
first.
the. Okay. As you look at the lock a bit more intently, you notice that there's definitely some fuckery magic that has been imbued in this lock. You recognize this as a lock of trickery.
Huh.
I will put this in your journal whenever it loads. It's a very interesting lock. Very hard to pick for anybody that tries to do so without using the key. Okay. And then what else were you identifying?
The sword.
The sword.
Okay. As you study the sword, it gives off a faint light, dim light in a 10-foot radius. You notice that seems to be some magical property, but there's something else there. This kind of darker magic has been placed on the sword. You notice that the sword, even as you're identifying it, kind of running your hand through the blade and such, you notice that the skeleton kind of holding it up for you and such, but its hand can never let go of the blade. And as you identify it, you realize that is a curse on this blade. It cannot be dropped once picked up.
Yay. So I get to add a longsword to this enemy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just never make it use its second hand, because that skeleton can no longer use its bow ever again.
Yes!
All right.
Imagine this longsword is glued to this thing's hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you all sit around getting the benefits of a short rest, for
Long
those of
resting,
you who
you know.
Lol, no.
Long rest and short rest.
Short rest for those of you that decided to take it and not spend their time spending on any magic or anything of that. Gleaming some insight on a couple of items that you discovered in your brief foray, a little over an hour and a half or so that you've spent since you came into Undermountain. Still probably early in the day, not that you can see any sunlight or anything like that to base a time of day off of, but noticed a few foul, or one or two foul creatures, and some very interesting discoveries thus far. But you've barely scratched the surface of what could be discovered further into Undermountain. But that is where we're going to go ahead and end the session for the evening.
Yay!
Sick.
We didn't die.
Hey, we did it!
Hey.
We
Yes.
did it!
I was worried for Risk.
Look, I'm
thought we
telling
had-
you. I'm telling you,
that
the
helper was like, meow.
I went down to 18 HP.
I watched his health bar drop, and all I was like was, "Where the fuck am I in the turn order? 'Cause
Can I heal, please?
can I heal him? I want to heal him."
I mean, I was
I
gonna.
wanted to use my spirit shields because that reduces it by 2d6, and I'm like, damn it, it had to be before. I had to go before and see it.
Yeah.
Also, we now have a skeleton with the cursed weapon.
Yes, we do.
Does have a cursed
Wait.
longsword in its
If
possession.
you were to say like, "Hey, look, there's a skeleton in the room with a cursed sword," I would leave that room. I don't want to
Yeah.
be in the room with the skeleton with a cursed sword.
But he's on our side, so
Is he though? Is he really though?
He's-
He seems
for
very
24 hours.
For
We need to find the BBG, and I need to mage hand him the sword and be like, "Please hold this."
Here you go. Have this.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be like, sure, that seems like a great idea.
We could just, whenever we kill the skeleton, earmuff skeleton. When we kill the skeleton, we're going to mage hand the sword into a bag of holding, and everything's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do that. Perfect.
Love it.
And then we can remove the curse and figure out what else we
RPing
can
that
do.
skeleton forever. Renaming him to
Enjoy that. Enjoy that.
But
Frank.
but that's not even going to be the last one. That's the first one.
Don't care. It's the first one. It's the only one that matters. You always remember your first.
You do. Yep. Hmm.
Do you also have Revivify prepared?
I
just
do.
in case we need it.
I do.
So it can go either way. It's
It
like,
can.
it's past a minute, you're a skeleton. Less than a minute, you're back to life.
You're back to life. Yep.
That's fucked up.
I have Revivify ready, and I have
Either way,
tons
you're
of spell
coming back.
components. One way or
One way
another,
or another.
you are fucking following us.
Risk, you're not getting out of this this easily. That's what it's going to be. Alright, this is fun.
There's
That was fun.
Yeah, this is super fun.
We
Alright,
actually
plenty
made it down
of
here.
stuff to-
we made it down here
I-
tonight.
I thought it was 50-50, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
went
think
through 4 rooms.
4 rooms.
No, it's
At this
progress.
rate,
We'll
How many
12
sex
sessions.
jokes were made?
12 more sessions and you'll be done with the first floor.
Perfect.
At
So,
this
That
rate,
sounds right.
Havoc will be collecting Social Security. Or would be if it still existed by the time he gets that.
yeah, pretty much.
Alright,
Yeah, so, yeah.
let's
At
go
some
ahead and
point,
end
we're
stream
not
here.
going to find the secret door, and we'll just continue on the normal path.
Yes.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could.
Because you know what happens when we find, or alternatively, when we find doors that we can't open, we just have Talia break them.
Yeah, right.
It's not doors you can't open. Like, you just find a way.
The fact that we've done that multiple times
Mm-hmm.
Just rage and like
best thing.
Only to find the key later.
Forge, you really like when we did that little the session of the blue alley. How many doors did you break? Like I swear the whole time I was just like we constantly kept finding the keys for the doors we just broke. Like the next place we went and be like, yeah, this key looks like it'd fit that door that you just fucking broke. Dumbasses.
So I've decided I'm definitely going to have to go at least one more level into Warlock, and I'm going to get Devil Sight, because fuck
so
this
good.
not being able to see.
Might as well.
There you go.
Yep.
Well, you can
Go.
see in magical darkness too, which is cool about.
It's 120 feet, because this sucks
Yeah.
so bad.
I
Like-
might take 2 levels of war.
I mean, But that's why I also purchased the lantern. So if anybody needed a lantern, they would have it. And I can cast light at any moment too. So
Well, like my staff is dancing lights, right? It's 15 feet of dim light. So if I can mage hand it 15 feet in front of me, that's something, right?
yeah, but
And I wanted a dim light, so it wasn't like giving ourselves away.
yeah,
Can I buy dark vision with havoc bucks?
because light is. Ooh,
No.
What are
No.
those goggles called? Aren't there like dark vision goggles?
there are dark vision goggles.
Goggles of the night or something?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna end stream, guys.
Bye, stream.
Bye, stream.
Bye.
Yeah,
All right.